All right, y'all. We get praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We're going to pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Alahym in you. I come by Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Alahym only? Do not think that I will esteem you to Abba. I don't think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how do you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua. Shalom, Mother Sharon. God bless Brother Langford, man. Shalom, East, man. Shalom, Brother Robert, man. Shalom, Jay. Shalom, Tavon, man. Let's get it, man. Jose 1. We got some things been cycling through my mind. Amen, Brother Marvin, man. Shalom, man. Hosea 1 and 10. The number of the sons of Yasharal shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. It shall come to pass in the place where it was said unto them, not my people. It shall be said unto them, the sons of the living Alahym. Now, you know, we've been talking about the aspect of the sons of the living Alahym in a lot of different areas. And I know that I had mentioned before that he's going to make a new creation like he did in the first creation, which will have the same intent that the first creation was to have, with it having the sons of Alahym in it. So we're going to try to, you who are willing, we're going to go from Genesis 1 down to spots in Revelation, down Revelation 21 to be specific. Probably some elements of Ezekiel, because you know Ezekiel 40 through 48 is dealing with the kingdom of Amashiach or the kingdom of heaven, depending on what chapter you're reading in. You know what I'm talking about? And we're just going to go from there. Because the aspect of being of the sons of God was always the intent of Yahuwah from the get-go. See, we'll focus on, like you have people argue when they say, well, if you say it's for Israelite, what was Adam? And most people neglect to mention Adam's nationality is literally the son of God. That's literally his nationality. Matter of fact, let's just take a look at something. We didn't talk about it before, but I'm going to just run it real quick. Like, man, Hebrews 7, right? Let me make sure that's what I want. There it is. Hebrews 7 and 1 is sufficient. Shalom, Sister Yeshua. Let's get it right. For this Melchizedek, Malach of Salem, priest of the Most High Alahym, who met Abraham returning to the slaughter of kings and baruched him, to whom also Abraham gave a tenth part of all, the first being by interpretation, Malach of Zadok. And after that, also Malach of Shalom, which is the king of peace, without father, without mother, without descent, neither having beginning of days nor end of life, but made like unto the son of Alahym, abiding a priest continually. Now we know that Adam had beginning of days and he had an end of life. We can read that. But what we're focusing on is the aspect of without father and without mother and not having descent. So let's go over here to Genesis chapter 2 on general principle. We're going to look at it in verse 1. Verse 4. My apologies. Genesis 2 and 4. These, the generations of Shamayim and the Arats, when they were created, in the day that Yahuwah Alahym made the Arats and Shamayim. So again, when you look at generations there again, it is Toledeth, which is a literal genealogy. When you look at verse 7 in Genesis chapter 2, you're going to see Yahuwah Alahym formed man, the dust of the ground, breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Adam had no descent, as forth as natural man is concerned. He had no father and no mother, as forth as natural man is concerned. This is how one of the aspects, how you see he is made unto the son of Alahym. Also in this aspect, you see that literally because Adam is of Alahym, then that means that his lineage is of Alahym. Therefore, those who are born of him are of Alahym. That's why they're called the sons of Alahym. In Genesis chapter 6, this ain't got nothing to do. Genesis 6 ain't got nothing to do with no Malachim. It ain't got nothing to do with no fallen spirits. It has simply to do that this is Adam's descent. Adam was not a man who, there's no nationality that Adam can claim. See, Abraham can say, I come from Terah, from Ur of Chaldees. He could say that I'm an Assyrian. He could say that. Jacob come from an Assyrian. He could say that. If you come from Reuben and you say, okay, I'm a Reubenite. If you come from Levi, you can say, I'm a Levite. You have a natural descent. You cannot identify a natural descent to say Adam belongs to any nationality of man, because all men come from Adam. And who does Adam come from? Alahym. Therefore, all those that come from him are the sons of Alahym, which was the intent of Yahuwah to be in the garden, was to be the sons of Alahym. That was his intent, which is what he's seeking to do on the back end. Let's take a look at that in Genesis chapter 2, and then we'll start working our way from Genesis 1:1 and lining this up on the second aspect of creation, if you would. I'm going to go ahead with Genesis 2:7. I'm going to just throw that in there on general principle. As a matter of fact, that's really what I want, to be dead real with you. But I'll start at verse 1 because I care. So Revelation 2:1. Unto the Malachim of the synagogue of Ephesians write, these things saith he that holds the 7 stars in his right hand, who walk in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. I know your works and your labor and your patience, and how you cannot bear them which are evil, and them which say that they are apostles and are not, and have found them liars. Now, brother just telling me just a second ago how dudes out here telling you ain't no more prophets in the earth. You know, a lot of people will tell you ain't no prophets in the earth. And a lot of people will tell you ain't no apostles in the earth. But that's just not the case. The book don't say that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will tell you this here. A lot of brothers will run to Joel chapter 2. Come on over here to Joel chapter 2, man. And I'll show you what I'm talking about versus telling you what I'm talking about. Joel 2:28. And it shall come to pass afterwards, I will pour out my ruach upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams. Your young men shall see visions. Also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my ruach, and I will show wonders in Shamahim and the Arats, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. So listen, right? What's good, my G? So listen, right? We're going to come over here to Acts 1. The reason why this is important in this particular aspect is this. If there's no more prophets, that means the Ruach of Alahym is not in the earth. Now, I'm not telling you that every man who say they are a prophet are a prophet. And I'm not telling you that every man who say they're an apostle are an apostle. You're supposed to know the word well enough to be able to try a man. Acts 2, I know I said 1, but it's Acts 2. To try a man to know if he is that or not. That's your responsibility. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I'm going to read you 2 verses that you've been taught numerous times to hammer that point home, and then we're going to move on. Let me see what that. Here we go. Acts chapter 2, man. You can pick it up at verse 14. But Peter, standing up with the 11, lifted up his voice and said unto them, you men of Yehuda, and all that dwell at Jerusalem, be this known unto you, hearken to my words. For these are not drunken, as you suppose, seeing the 3rd hour of the day. But this is what was spoken by the prophet Joel. It shall come to pass in the last days, saith Alahym, I will pour out my ruach upon all flesh, and your sons and daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And on my servants and on my handmaidens will I pour out in those days of my ruach, and they shall prophesy. And I will show wonders in Shamahim above, and the signs in the earth beneath, blood, fire, and vapors of smoke. Now listen, you got 2 things as forth, just because I was talking with some brothers today about this here, and it's in my brain. Now you know that you got, and matter of fact, shoot, Derek just asked this also. Now I told you this before, right? You have prophets where what you see in Numbers 12:6, they speak of a future event. But you also have this. Come over here to Revelation 19:10 while it's in my mind. It did pop in my mind because some brothers posted, was in a room talking about this here, man. And we just won't do it this here. We're going to deal with this here, man. Revelation 19:10, right? And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see not, I am your fellow servant, and of your brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship Alahym, for the testimony of Yahushua is the ruach of prophecy. Listen, the breath of prophecy is in the testimony of a Mashiach. Now, just because somebody is preaching a Mashiach does not necessarily mean that they're a prophet, but the breath, the spirit behind that prophecy is contained in that testimony. You understand? See, this is one of the aspects of what you're dealing with an apostle. What people don't realize is when you preaching the Mashiach, you are prophesying, but you're not prophesying in the aspect that Yahuwah has appeared to you in a vision or a dream. therefore making you a prophet. You're prophesying because just testifying of this man is the breath of what all the prophets spoke of, if you understand what I'm talking about. So listen, right? With that being said, we're going to read, we're going to read Job 16 and 19 on general principle. Then we're going to read John 5 and 30 on general principle. We're going to go to Job 42. And then we're going to go to 1 John 3. And then we're going to leave this alone. I said 1 John 3 is 1 John 4. So let's go to Job 16 and 19 on general principle. Joanne, sit down somewhere. I don't want to hear all that. 16 and 19, Job, also now, behold, my witness in Shamayim, my record on high. Listen, now let's go to John chapter 5. Matter of fact, after this John 5, we need John 14, maybe John 16, but we're going to see. I'm going to see which one I want. Bear with me if I'm moving too fast, just let it be known, because we got a lot of things to hit. I ain't trying to waste no time. John chapter 5, verse 30. I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own, but the will of the Abba which sent me. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. Yes, ma'am. There is another that bear witness of me, and I know that the witness which he witness of me is true. You sent unto Yachanan, and he bear witness unto the truth. But I receive not testimony from man, but these things I say, that you might be saved. He was a burning and shining light, and you were willing for a season to rejoice in his light. But I have greater witness than of John. The works which Abba gives me to finish, the same works that I do bear witness of me, that Abba have sent me. Listen, that's his record is on high. This is showing you how the testimony of Yahushua is the ruach of prophecy. The breath that is behind every word that the prophet spoke is testifying of the Son. That's what it's about. That's what it was always about. You understand? So let's look at John 14. And 26 is fine. You can make it 23. John 14, 23. Yahushua answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words. And my Abba will love him, and we will come unto him and make our abode with him. Let me tell y'all something, man. I'm going to be 100% honest with y'all. Most niggas don't want the word. This ain't what they want. You know what I'm saying? This is not what they want. I don't give a damn how much they say they're Israelite. I don't care how much Bible they talk. All this. This ain't what people want. And you know how you know this ain't what they want? Because they don't lead with the word first. When I say lead with the word first, I'm talking about leading with Yahushua, leading with Abba, leading with drawing the people to God so their faith and hope might be in God. This ain't what people want. Shalom, Sister Mickey. This ain't what people want, man. God bless Brother Smoke. This is not what people want. Because you know how we know this here? Because we deal with, argue, fuss, and fight, and talk about everything other than the word. I've been telling you that for years, that Yahuwah ain't enough for these niggas. He ain't enough. The word ain't enough for you. You want everything else. Or what you believe that the word should be for. Man, the number one purpose of the word is to save your soul. Anything after that, praise be to Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? This is the number one thing to save your soul. I did telling Will this here, man, just on the aspect of son that each had shared. We were talking about this here, right? And my sister had said Sunday's fourth is like Charleston White saying he don't care about the community. This, that, there, and the third. And this son I done told y'all before. He a community activist, so it's different. But when you look at the word, right? Most people will look at a person who laboring in the word, instructing people in the way of salvation, showing them how to get life. And the people don't give a damn about this nigga. Remember, I told you the people want this man to do everything while nobody participates. This man will sacrifice his life. This man will do all type of things to make sure that he never shuns and holds back the counsel of God from you. And the people will look at this man and say, well, why you ain't did this and why you ain't did that? Well, goofy nigga, what you done? To facilitate that. You remember what he said in Haggai? Your house look nice. My house lay in waste. You know what I'm saying? He said, you got clothes, but you're not warm. You got food and drink, but you're not food. You got money, but you put it in the bag of hope. He told you examine your ways. See, this is not a piece of information to say, hey, you ought to give money to people. But how do you niggas expect anything to be done and you don't have to do anything and you put all that burden on this one person? You know what I'm talking about? To get all these things done that you believe that should be done, while this man got to do this, that, there, and the third, and you looking at it like, nah, nigga, give me some more, like Busta Rhymes. Give me some more. Give me some more. That's why I told you when you look at it on the Christian side of things, especially because a lot of them ain't got no ruach, that's why them boys be committing suicide. That's why you find out a lot of them boys be drunks and drug addicts. And you thinking sometimes some of them ain't wicked as hell, but a lot of them, they crumbling under the pressure of the expectations of everybody taking and nobody giving. And it ain't just got to be financial. You want this man to pour into you, but you not finna assist this man in nothing. And have the unmitigated gall and audacity to run your mouth about what he not able to accomplish. How the hell you expect him to do it? How do you expect him to do that? How do you expect a man to build synagogues and assemblies for people all over the place and niggas not going to sacrifice their time, their resources, their know-how, nothing? You just expect this one man to do it. You out your rabbit mind, man. You got to be crazy. You know what I'm saying, man? And this book will show you that that's not how that works. That's not how that works. See, you wonder, regardless of right or wrong, you wonder why Christians able to build the certain things that it is, because they'll break bread. Niggas will come into the Hebrew way and feel like you ain't got to break no bread. Well, you ain't going to get nothing built. You're not going to get nothing done. That's not how that works. Now, over the course of years, I done showed you that. And I didn't show you that for you to give me no money. I showed you that so you can see what the words say. Because we could go in this word and it said that people gave to these men to be able to build. Everybody in Yasharal had to come forth with a voluntary offering and things of that sort to get the house of Yahuwah built. Everybody did. You can read it in the text. Everybody did. Everybody did. And you know where it came from? It came from your law. But these niggas will tell you, nah, it was fruits and vegetables. You want to slap them niggas with the same bag of bananas that they telling you they ought to be giving. Sit your stupid, goofy behind down somewhere. You can't build no building with no goddamn bananas, nigga. Then had a nerve to say he don't do a temple made with hand. Somebody need to bust you upside your head with a tequila bottle. Because you got to be drunk and stupid. How you going to be able to have administration for the fatherless and the widows and the poor with some goddamn fruits and vegetables, man? Nigga, we don't live in no agricultural society no more, man. That's insane. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. So this is why things don't get done, because you scream law. And I'm not necessarily referring to y'all. I'm telling you this for informational purposes. So go look in your law and see it. Go look in the book of Ezra and see it. Go look in the book of Nehemiah and see it. You ain't got to take my word for it. Go read 2 Kings 12 and 13. See it for yourself. I'm telling you what it looks, because I'm not going to read it to you tonight, because that's not what we're here for. Go read it for yourself. Go read Chronicles, man. Go read 2 Chronicles 6, man. Go read 1 Chronicles 28 and 29, man. You're going to see that. You're going to see that. You're going to see that. There's absolutely no way in the world. And then you wonder why that man stressed out. That's why the book tell you, man, don't vex them who got rule over you. It's not going to be, or grieve them. It's not going to be profitable for you. It's not going to be profitable. And I'm just mentioning that there because it was something else that ain't really had nothing to do with people donating no money. You know what I'm saying? But the aspect of the stress that individuals who have to serve the people, what they be under. I say, man, Malcolm X was poor when he died. Martin Luther King Jr. was poor when he died. Most of them men who do that stuff, they're not doing that for money. But don't nobody give a damn about them. But you want what they're doing. But nobody... See, everybody wants the movement to go in a particular type of way, but nobody wants to be an actual benefit to anything. And that's why nothing gets done. Because you're expecting one man to pull something out. Nothing in life by natural man's hands is built by the hands of one man. That's not how that works. That's why I said natural. Yahuwah don't need the help of nobody to build nothing. But when you talk about natural man, even when Yahushua was a natural man in the flesh, he still had disciples for the purpose of building his assembly, of building his body, of building his church, whatever word you want to use. That wasn't a solo mission. It wasn't a solo mission. There's no way you could do that. We all know the phrase teamwork make the dream work. There's absolutely no way that anything can be done unless a group of people come together for a common cause and are willing to sacrifice and commit themselves to actually being a benefit for the common cause. If not, it's not going to happen. You ain't lying, bro, Smoke. And that's why stuff don't get done. Because you looking for the preacher to do it. And you feel like he should do it. And there's something wrong with him if he can't do it. And it's really a reflection of yourself. How do you expect one man to do all of that? Why would you want to put all that burden on one man? Do you not understand? A man's shoulders may be broad, but they ain't broad enough to carry all of that. That man's still flesh and blood. Now leave it alone and sit your happy behind down somewhere because you shouldn't have been fooling with it. No, ain't no high daddy. Go sit down. I don't want to hear that. 14 and 23, man. Yahushua answered and said unto him, if a man love me, he will keep my words, and my Abba will love him, and he will come unto him and make our abode with him. He that love me not, keep not my sayings, but the word which you hear is not mine, but Abba's which sent me. These things have I spoken unto you, being present with you. But the Comforter, the Ruach HaKodesh, whom Abba will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring to your remembrance whatsoever I said unto you. And of course, another place he said he'll bear witness of me. Now, see, I only mention that because it's in front of my mind, because some people would hear what Charleston White said and look at him differently. And the only reason why people are going to look at him like that, because you ain't never committed your life to a cause that was greater than you and make the sacrifices necessary to facilitate something that may not even necessarily directly benefit you. And to see and to do that and to labor in that and see that nobody's listening to you, nobody cares about what you're doing, and nobody wants to assist you to actually help the people who say ain't nobody helping them. You know what I'm talking about? See, there's a lot of things when you look at the people. That's why I say the people don't want the word. Don't really want the word. You want somebody to facilitate your desires. The same way the Lord told that man in John chapter 6, he said, man, you ain't come around here for the miracles and the words. You came around here because you got some bread. That's what you came around here for. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling you for years, man, people want gimmicks. They want other things. The word is not enough. We'll look at it to think we don't need to build no places to worship. Why wouldn't you? The only way for the people to come together and even execute any of the things that people say they want to do is have a place to worship for believers to gather, so that you ain't got to be on the internet talking about every goddamn thing you want to do. But you can't even do that because you don't even know the aspect of what it means to come together like Voltron, if you would. You know what I'm talking about? For Yahuwah's cause to actually be a benefit one to another, to do something that will esteem his name. Because see, we think if we just go out here and feed the poor, that we doing something for Yahuwah. Sinners do that, baby. Atheists do that. False churches do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't look at you doing something that just means you esteeming Yahuwah. It's got to be all the way in the totality of the kadashness of righteousness and the beauty of kadash that where esteem get brought to his name. Because I know them doggone Christian shelters downtown, they do all that stuff. They don't give a damn about them people. They'll tell them people, we're not going to help you unless you get down with our doctrine and be a member of what we got going on. People don't give a damn about them people. See, everything we supposed to be doing is to esteem Yahuwah first. But before we can worry about looking out for the Pope and all that there in the third, we got to actually love each other first. See, we be more focused on loving people who outside the house, and you don't even love people who inside the house. We slander each other. We false accuse each other. We turn our backs on each other. We ain't got no mercy for each other. We ain't got no compassion for each other. We ain't got no mercy for each other. You ain't got no long suffering, no loving kindness, no grace, no nothing. But you think you'll be justified if you out here and you give a nigga a job or give him a sandwich to eat. You think that'll clean the other stuff up. Lying to me and lying to yourself. You ain't got no faith. Your heart ain't right. But you think feeding somebody gonna clean that up. That's not gonna clean that up. Because what you're doing it for the wrong reasons. What good is it if we was able to give 100 people a job and them 100 people went to hell? Would you rather them actually had a word of Yahuwah so they soul can be saved? Or so you could be able to say, see, we out here doing stuff in the community. We put brother to work, but he going to hell though. Which one was more important? Because the angels didn't rejoice because you got this man a job. The book say the angels going to rejoice when a man's soul has repented. That's what the book say. The angels going to rejoice. So we have to put our priorities in order because it's the stuff that we care about, and we trying to superimpose that on Yahuwah. And that's not what the book say. And I'm not saying that we can't do nothing to give each other no job. That ain't what I'm saying. But if you put that first before this man's soul being saved, Yahuwah ain't sent you and God ain't in you and the truth ain't either. Because we done forgot the number one priority. The number one priority is for your soul to be saved. Not all this natural stuff. That man told you, look at the heavens above and the earth beneath. The heavens are going to vanish away like smoke, and the earth going to wax old like a garment, and everything in like manner going to perish therein. So that's not the number one cause. Because if you can give a man a word of where he saved his soul and his name getting written in heaven, that's better than him getting a paycheck. That paycheck temporary. The Ruach HaKodesh is forever. And we have to remember that. We have to remember that. See, we getting our priorities misconstrued. And again, that's not to say that we can't do none of them things if Yahuwah permit. But what good is it if a man loses his soul? Ain't that what the Lord say? What good is it if a man gain the whole world and lose his soul? What good is it if we pull all these things off for niggas who don't even believe in God? See, this is the other part too. We think if we do all this gonna make niggas believe in God. It ain't. If they not gonna believe the word, you doing stuff for them ain't gonna make them believe. It's not. You know how we know this? Because Yahuwah killed your enemies, drowned them in the Red Sea, gave you manna from heaven, did all these things for your forefathers, and they didn't believe. So you already got proof positive that Yahuwah giving you stuff ain't gonna make you believe. It's not gonna make you believe. If you don't believe, you're not gonna believe. It don't matter what nobody do for you. He said, I know people think they're going to heaven just because they good deeds. And let me tell y'all something. You can do good deeds and Yahuwah gonna bless you and you still going to hell. Yeah, he gonna look out for you. He gonna be like, hey, that was a good thing you did. You still going to hell though. Yeah, you still going. Oh, you was out there fighting in the community, you were feeding people, but you was a pedophile when nobody was looking? You was an idolater when nobody was looking? You was an adulterer when nobody was looking? You hated your brother without cause, which means you a murderer? Oh, yeah, you going to hell, buddy. Yeah, you going to hell. Yeah, you going. But I'm going to bless you because I appreciate what you did. That was a good thing you did, but you still going to hell, though. See, people don't want to hear that. Because it's going to transpose that, nah, baby, you still got to believe on Yahuwah. You still got to walk in his word. You going to hell. You know what I'm talking about? And you know why you going? Because you ain't a son of God. That's why you're going. Job 42. Your mama going to beat your butt. Mm-hmm. I take you to work. You can come clean. That's what you want to do. I take you right on to work. So, okay. Job 42:1. Then Job answered Yahuwah and said, I know that you can do every, and no thought can be withholden from you. Who he that high counsel without knowledge? Therefore I have uttered that I understood not, things too wonderful for me, which I knew not. Here I beseech you, and I will speak, and I will demand of you, declare you unto me. I've heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes see. So come over here. 1 John 4:1. Stop. No, ain't no no. I said stop. Beloved, this is 1 John 4:1. Believe not every ruach, but try the ruachs, whether they have Alahym, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Go. No. I said no. Mama. Hey, come get this and put it over. No. That ain't for you. Verse what? 2. Hereby we know, this is 1 John 4:2. Hereby we know you, the Ruach of Alahym. Every Ruach that confess that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is of Alahym. Every Ruach that confess not that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of Alahym. And this is that of anti-Mashiach, where you have heard that it should come, even now already it's in the world. So listen, you have to actually come back to Revelation 2:1. You actually got to try these people, man, to see if the word in them. See, like I said, man, it's a lot of people that if you listen to them talk long enough, you could tell that they don't really know the word like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm telling you, a lot of dudes, they don't know the word like that. And it shows. It shows. It shows this on the aspect of things that dudes argue about and don't even know if it's in the text or not. Because I have told you numerous times, you don't study the word to debate or to formulate doctrines. You study in the word to know Yahuwah so you can draw closer to be one with him. If you're not reading the word for that, you're a jackass because you're wasting your time. And when I say jackass, I mean like you're literally a dumb animal. Because that means he told you we don't want to be like horses who have no understanding, got to be put with brits and bridles. There has to be something wrong with you if you're not looking at the word to learn about Yahuwah so that you could be with him. This thing bigger than knowing you an Israelite. If you really stuck on that, you're wasting your time. And when I say wasting your time, not as far as you're wasting your time by dealing with the word, you wasting your time to actually deliver your soul from death and know your maker. You're wasting time you don't have time to waste. You don't know how long you're going to be here. If all you care about is we the people of the book, you wasting time. Because you're not going to come to the end conclusion of what this book is about. The first Adam and the second Adam have one thing in common. They sons of God. Ain't no nationality attached to that. Yeah, we know that the gates is named after the sons of Yasharal. The man made a promise to Abraham and to Isaac and to Jacob. He made a covenant with them. He gonna keep that. But in reality, when you get in this man kingdom, man, boy, everybody gonna be a son of God there. Everybody, no exceptions. If you're not a son of God, you won't be there. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? If you are not a son of the living Alahym, if you are not in the image of the first and second Adam, you will not be there. Amen, Sister Tradina. You won't be there. You won't be there. You're not going to be there. Revelation 2:1, man. Unto the Malachim of the synagogue of Ephesians, right? These things saith he that holds the 7 stars in his right hand, who walk in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks. I know your works and your labor and your patience, and how you cannot bear them which are evil, and try them which say they are apostles and are not, and have found them liars, and have borne and have patience for my name's sake, and have labored and have not fainted. Nevertheless, I have against you because you left your first love. Remember, therefore, from whence you are fallen, and repent and do the first works, or else I will come unto you quickly and remove your candlestick out of his place, except you repent. But this you have, that you hate the deeds of Nicolaitans, which I also hate. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Ruach saith unto the synagogues. To him that overcome will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of Alahym. Drop to verse 11, same chapter. This one to Smyrna. We ain't even finna read all that, though. Before that, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Ruach saith unto the synagogues. He that overcomes shall not be hurt of the second death. Verse 17, same chapter. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Ruach say unto the synagogues. To him that overcome will I give to eat of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone, and in a stone a new name written, which no man knows saving he that received. Listen, right? I want you to remember this part by the new name written. Drop down to verse 27. Well, 26, excuse me. He that overcome and keep my words unto the end, him will I give power over the nations. He shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Abba. And I will give him the morning star. We want one more thing, man, and that's Revelation 3:12, and then we finna hit the Genesis 1:1 and let it run. Revelation 3:12. To him that overcome will I make a pillar in the temple of my Alahym. He shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my Alahym, and the name of the city of my Alahym, New Jerusalem, which come down out of Shamahim from my Alahym, and my new name. So listen, we didn't talk about some of that why he got the new name. We'll probably rehash it again. Let's go to Genesis 1:1, man, and let's go ahead and let's start seeing how you're going to get a new creation. Hold on, before I do that, 2 Corinthians 5, man. 2 Corinthians 5. Verse 14, and then I'll read Revelation 21. I would be remiss if I didn't lead with it first. Revelation 21 is more apropos, but I want to go ahead with the 2 Corinthians 5, man. I said verse 14. Verse 14 is fine. 2 Corinthians 5 and 14. For the love of Hamashiach constrain us, because we thus judge that if one died for all, then we're all dead. And he died for all, that they which live should not henceforth live unto themselves, but unto him which died for them and rose again. Wherefore henceforth know we no man after the flesh, though we have known Hamashiach after the flesh, yet now henceforth know we no more. Therefore, if any man in Hamashiach, a new creature, old things are passed away. Behold, all things are become new. Let's come over here to Revelation 21 and 4. We probably read it twice, but I'm going to slide this in here now. And Alahym shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, but the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. See, that's something, Shalom, Yazoo, man. That's something you got to remember, man. He said he's making all things new. Everything new. So while you worrying about XYZ, you're going to have to be new too. That's why I say you got to be born again, man, because you're going to have to be new. You're going to have to be refreshed, like I said in Exodus 31. You know what I'm talking about? So Genesis 1 and 1, man, let's do it. In the beginning, Alahym created the Shamahim and the Arats. So we can see this in the beginning. Let's pause. You know where we're going now. If you don't, you're finna find out. Isaiah 65 and 17. We'll look at both instances what is mentioned, and we'll look at Matthew 5 on general principle. I said, y'all willing, man, we're going to take it step by step. We ain't got to run nowhere. We ain't got to rush nowhere. If the Lord permit, we got 2 more days. We got 2 more days to go right on through it. If I get around there, we can make something happen. Isaiah 65 and 17. Listen to what it says. For behold, I create a new Shamahim and a new Arats, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. Now, this should be recalling certain things to your mind that we've done discussed in times past. Now, remember, he said, I make all things new. Now, I'm going to just mention again what this means when he say, won't nothing be remembered nor come to mind? Because you got to ask yourself a question. Why would you want to remember or bring to mind the wickedness of this heaven and earth that we've been dwelling in? I mentioned that in about the heavens burning up, and we can read it since we already in that book. So just in case you ain't know where it's at, we can see it. And we'll look at 2 Peter chapter 3, and then we're going to look at the parallel. I think I mentioned it previously, that when you look at the parallel, how he flooded the earth with the daughters of Adam versus the sons of God, he going to burn up the earth and save the sons of God and kill the daughters of men or the sons of Cain all over again. Same thing, man. It's the same thing. We looked at this last week with the wheats and the tares. It's in your law. The tares being the seed of Cain, the wheat being the sons of Adam. It's the same thing. There's nothing different that's going to happen. The man told you, he told you the end from the beginning and the beginning from the end. The man has already showed you how to play going down. You just don't, you want it to be something else. He going to follow the same framework. This is how you know you've been dealing with the same Alahym the whole time. I'm in 65. My bad, y'all. Oh, I was in 65 the first time. Hit the wrong thing. So, of course, you know when you're dealing with new, you're dealing with Kadash, which is a new thing, repaired. But, of course, if you remember means a car. He say, hey, man, you will not remember. It will not come to remembrance. And then when it say come into mind, you know, that's Allah, all, and Leb. Man, this thing is not going to ascend, to climb up, to spring up, to come up. It's not going to come up in your heart no more. Come over here to Isaiah 52, man. You can see why it ain't going to come. And after we read Isaiah 52, you'll see this again in 2 Peter chapter 3, and you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. I said Isaiah 52. It's really 51. My bad, y'all. Isaiah 51. And you know what? It's cool because it's going to allow me to work it. I can work it now. 51 and 1. And I ain't got to double back and waste no time. Isaiah 51 and 1. Hearken to me, you that follow after righteousness. See, a lot of people think following after righteousness is keeping the man law. Following after righteousness is believing on him. If you believe on him, you're going to keep his law. I don't know why people have a hard time understanding that. I really don't. It is insane to me. It's absolutely and utterly ridiculous. Because every time a Hebrew hear that, you telling people not to keep the law. And I've told y'all what to tell them. And if you ain't never heard me say it before, tell them clearly you don't keep it. Because if that's the conclusion you drew, then that let me know you don't keep the law anyway, my nigga. Because who said anything about not keeping it? See, I don't entertain them type of conversations, man. I'm not going to be sitting here talking to y'all about certain stuff, man, that ain't really got nothing to do with the matters of your heart, man. I'm not talking to you about no pork chops and shrimp, my nigga. For what? What are we talking about that for? What does that do to anybody? That's not dealing with the heart, man. See, don't nobody want to deal with that. These boys don't want to talk about the matters of the heart that's plaguing people, man. I told y'all this last week. I told you plenty of time before. In 1 Kings chapter 8, man, Solomon say every man know the plague of his heart. See, these niggas don't want to deal with the stuff, man, that's plaguing people's heart, man, because they ain't dealt with theirs. I've been told you that. These dudes don't want to talk about a lot of things because they got stuff going on with them. And if they have to talk about it, they got to face themselves. They don't want to do it. How you going to listen to a nigga still fighting with lust? He can't preach you no word, man. This boy ain't whole. What he going to tell you? This boy around here still, his loins still throbbing. He ain't got control of himself. This boy still got the abandonment issues. How he going to do something for you? What if you got abandonment issues? How he going to help you? He ain't helped himself. See, we don't want to talk about that. Niggas still walking around here talking about, I got trauma. Well, you need to do something about it. Man, you know most niggas ain't got no trauma. They just walking around here sad and upset because life ain't go how they wanted it to go because you living in a fairy tale world. Nobody ever told you life was going to go how you wanted it to go. Who told you that? You don't know how to deal with adversity. You don't know how to deal with setbacks. That's why you're traumatized, because you're a pussy. You're soft, you're weak. And when I say you're soft, you're weak, you're not soft and weak because you dealt with the adversity. You're soft and weak because you didn't take the steps to be able to tell somebody, man, I wasn't strong enough to deal with that. Can you help me out, man? Man, I experienced this here, man. It knocked me off my feet. I ain't really know what. See, that's why you're weak. That's what make you a pussy, because you wasn't man enough to say, man, I went through some things, man. I ain't know how to deal with that, bro. Can you give me some game, man? Can you give me some wisdom on that there, man? It kind of messed me up a little bit. See, it take more strength to say, man, you ain't know how to handle something, deal with something, than to walk around here and act like you did while you still mentally and emotionally and spiritually damaged behind it. Because you don't got no coping skills. And you're too proud and arrogant in your mind to actually look somebody in the face who actually can help you. Yeah, man, that could be the problem. And I done told you before, it ain't about running to the preacher if he can help you. You know what I'm talking about? I could understand how that would be the first person you may want to think about. But man, you supposed to go talk to somebody. If you don't, if you know you don't have the capabilities to do it on your own. See, but that be the problem living in America. As a man, you think you could do everything on your own. Ain't that what Jethro came and told Moses? Man, you take too much on yourself, boy. You gonna buckle. So like I told when I was talking to that dude, man, he told me, you sound like a Christian. When we talking about what Psalm 62 say, that man say, pour your heart out to him. He a refuge for us. Yeah, man. Yeah, they don't want to talk about that. Come on. Isaiah 51:1, man. I read that already. Verse 2. Did I read verse 2? Was this still part of verse 1? That is part of verse 1. Hearken unto me, you that follow after righteousness, ye that seek Yahuwah. Look unto the rock that you are hewn, and the hole of the pit where you are digged. You need to look at the Son of God in that grave you came up out of. Look unto Abraham your Abba, and unto Sarah that bare you. For I called him alone and blessed him and increased him. Yahuwah shall comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden. So keep that in mind. He said he gonna make this place like Eden. He gonna make Jerusalem like Eden. Did you just hear in Revelation 2 and verse 7 that he said if you overcome, he'll give you right to the tree of life, which is in the paradise of Alahym? Hush, hush. Well, where you think the tree of life was at? It was in Eden. What I just said. Go in there with your mom. Then be quiet. Verse 3, Isaiah 51. For Yahuwah shall comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places. He will make her wilderness like Eden and her desert like the garden of Yahuwah. Joy and gladness shall be found therein. Thanksgiving in the voice of melody. That take you back to what we were talking about in Jeremiah 33:11. Too proud to heal yourself and save your soul. Most definitely. Because then when you're dealing with a man who got them type of mental issues, man, he going to hurt his wife and his children and his friends. What your mama just said? I hope she hit you in the head with it. Verse 4, man, Isaiah 51. Hearken unto me, my people, and give ear unto me, O my nation. For a law shall proceed from me, and I will make my judgment to rest for a light of the people. I want you to keep that in mind, for the light of the people. Lift up your eye, my righteousness is near. My salvation, verse 5, excuse me. My salvation is gone forth, and my arms shall judge the people. The isles shall wait upon me, and on my arm shall they trust. Lift up your eyes to Alahym and look upon the earth beneath, for the heavens shall vanish away like smoke. The earth shall wax old like a garment, and they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished. Hearken unto me, you that know righteousness, the people in whose heart my law. Fear you not the reproach of men, neither be you afraid of their revilings. You don't need to be worrying about these niggas running their mouth. Who got something to say? If you know righteousness, if you know the faith of God, you don't care about what these people got to say. You don't care. But you just got to follow after him, man, because that's where the play gonna come from. Okay, that page seems to be gone. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 6. Make it 4. 2 Peter 3 and 4. Shoot, we can make it 3 and 3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as from the beginning of the creation. For this they are willingly ignorant of, that by the word of the Alahym, the Shamahims were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was, being overflowed with water, perished. But the Shamahim and the Arats, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved under fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day with Yahuwah is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. Yahuwah is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to us ward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. For the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also, and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Then all these things shall be dissolved. What manner ought you to be in Kadash conduct and godliness? So listen. Let's go to Isaiah 33 and 6. Let's look at a statement from Psalms that he just referenced. Psalms 33 and 6. I pick up at verse 1 because I feel like it. Psalms 33 and 1. Rejoice in Yahuwah, O you righteous. Praise is comely for the upright. Hallelujah with harp. Sing unto him with the psaltery, an instrument of 10 strings. Sing unto him a new song. Play skillfully with a loud noise. For the word of Yahuwah, right. All his works in truth. He loved righteousness and judgment, and the earth is full of the goodness of Yahuwah. By the word of Yahuwah were the heavens made, and all the host of them by the breath of his mouth. Now, what we really came here for was the host. If you know host, that's Sabah, Sad, Bat, Aleph. That's an army, a host. Also the sun, moon, and stars. Also the Malachim. Also an organized army. And you sit back and look at that, you can see that the strength of the Almighty is the sun. Now, we were talking about sons of God, and I didn't really go through all the way through in Job about that. As forth as how the angels are called the son of God. But I want you to look at, he said, all this host was created with the Ruach, the breath of his mouth. Think about that now. All the host was made with the Ruach of his pay, his mouth, his word. This is how all the hosts were made. This is how the sons of God got here. As forth as the army is concerned. I want you to keep that in mind because we're going to see this on the back end. So let's come back to Isaiah 65, right? There's a reason why we went to all that to show you why you won't remember what happens in the previous heaven and earth when the new one gets made. What you want to remember sin for, what you want to remember pain and death for, But you want to sit around and talk about that for in a place of everlasting joy, peace, righteousness, thanksgiving, and the presence of the living Alahym. That's insane. That's insane. You know what I'm saying? This is how you can know that we really ain't locked in with Yahuwah, because we talking about things that you're not even going to be talking about in no kingdom, man. You're not going to be discussing none of that. I don't think a lot of people want to be with the Father, to be quite honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But that's another conversation for another day. Isaiah 65:17. For behold, I created a new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. But you'll be glad and rejoice forever, which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing and a people of joy. We just read in Isaiah 51 that he told you that he going to make Jerusalem like the Garden of Eden. That's what he said. You know what I'm talking about? That's not something that is a suggestion. Notice that he said he created. See, we neglected, like we'll talk about it. I don't think we really go through and about it that this man is going to make an entirely new creation that will not be like this present creation that we're in. And that you should be laboring to be a part of that new creation. That's why he say in that place where you would say you are not a people, you'll be called the sons of the living Alahym, because those who are in that new creation, that's the only thing that they can be, because that's how it started. Adam was a son of Alahym. It started with a son of Alahym, and it's going to end with the sons of Alahym. That's why when you turn around and you see him say, all Yasharal is not Yasharal, but he that is of the promise is counted for the seed. See, nobody want to talk about that. See, what we've allowed to happen is this. You have allowed Satan to corrupt your mind to believe in that knowing you an Israelite is the end all be all and the purpose of the manifestation of their word. And you're going to go to hell behind it. Because when you read John 1:12, that man said he gave you power to become the sons of God, not by the will of flesh, not by blood, nor by the will of man, but of Alahym. We already talked about that. Adam was made a son of God. It wasn't by blood. It wasn't by flesh. It wasn't by the will of man. It was strictly by Alahym. What you think it's got to be the second time for you to get in this place of paradise, boy? What you think that's going to be? See, we know Israelites going to be there because we know Yahuwah ain't no liar, man. He promised unto Abraham and he going to keep that. So that's why we don't have to diminish it, because we know Yahuwah ain't a liar. So that's why I ain't got to be focused on if we Israelites or not. I already know this man ain't told no stories. That man made a covenant with all three of them men. So that's signed, sealed, and delivered, baby. That's locked in. You ain't got to worry about that. That's locked in. But he gave you a greater promise, man, that he didn't promise them. And it seems like we don't want that. It seems that you would rather be known as an Israelite than the son of Alahym, or you take on the title of I'm a son or daughter of Yahuwah just because you're an Israelite. Just because you're an Israelite does not mean you're a son or daughter of the living Alahym. Let that be known. Let that be known. You know what I'm talking about? See, we don't like to let that be known. We let these Hebrews walk around here thinking they are son or daughter of God just because they come from the loins of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that's doing a disservice to these people. I promise it is. But ain't nobody gonna say nothing because you don't want to be ostracized, because y'all niggas like to go along to get along, and that's your problem. You can't be worrying about being liked by these people. You can't be worried about that. Now, you can't go out your way to make yourself be disliked. But if you preaching and teaching and saying things so that you don't offend people, then you ain't doing like what Paul said. He said, should I please Alahym or should I please man? He said, if I please man, then I ain't a servant of God. It's not my job to tell you what you want to hear. It's not my job to appease to your flesh. That's not my job. And I ain't going to do it because I don't give a damn. Who cares? Oh, you ain't going to get no followers, man. You ain't going to get it. Who cares? You niggas weird. Do you care about saving people's souls, or do you care about a follower? Do you care about saving people's souls, or you just care about being liked? What type of time you on? Don't you know you're going to go to hell, boy? You teaching wrong, boy. And you're going to have to see this man. Don't you know you're going to hell, boy? Don't you know this man say by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you're going to be condemned? You thought that was just something he just said because he just felt like it? Okay, that's y'all, man. Shoot, it's your soul. Do what you want to with it. Verse 19, man. I will rejoice in Jerusalem and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall no more be heard in her, nor the voice of crying. Listen, right? It's one thing that if anything other in life that would bring crying and weeping is death. And then, man, that's not going to be there. That's not going to be there. Not in the new heaven and new earth. You got dudes thinking you're going to be in the new heaven and new earth pulling your wee-wee out having sex with your wife. What's wrong with you, boy? Isaiah 66 and 22, man. These people crazy out here, man. Isaiah 66 and 22. For as the new heaven and the new earth, which I make shall remain before me, saith Yahuwah, so shall your seed in your name remain. Can anybody tell me, man, where does Isaiah 66 and 22 come from in your law? How that relate to your law? I just want to make sure y'all remember. Can anybody tell me where that come from in your law that relate to what you just read in Isaiah 66 and 22? It's right in your law. I just want to see who remember. It's been, I try to mention it periodically to keep it at the forefront of your mind from time to time when it comes to mind. Can anybody remember where that's at in your law? You remember, Boo? What'd you say? Man, you remember where it's at? You remember what relate to this? Who on this stream relate? Who remember what relate to it? I can't spend too much time waiting because it's Wednesday. I ain't say that to be rude. I'm just saying that so I can get everything in, Paul, that I need to slide on to you. Listen, come on here to Genesis 22. He say, while the earth remain, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat. There it is, Stanley. And summer and winter, and the day and night shall not cease. I want you to pay attention to something. That man say, while the earth remain, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. See, that's a part of the original creation. We finna read it. Let me read you this Matthew 5:17 when we gonna read it. Matthew 5 and 17, man. I'm gonna see if y'all remember this here. We spent a long time. It was some months back though. We spent a long time talking about this here. Pray be to you. And you know what was funny? It came from people arguing about this here, arguing with Christians. And I'm like, oh man, they missed the whole point of the passage, if y'all remember. That's why when y'all see me on some of them, they don't be talking about nothing like I tell you, man. I be sitting there and I might get inspired from something that somebody say for us to cook up some dope. It don't be on what they be arguing about because I really don't be caring. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't worth arguing about. I don't even see how people argue the same thing every day. You'd think you'd be tired. You know what I'm saying? You would think, hey, man, you know where I stand with this here. I'm not going to keep talking to you about this. You know what I'm saying? But everybody different. Matthew 5 and 17, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. But truly I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot and one tittle shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. Now, of course, y'all remember, right? The law is not for a righteous man, but for a sinner. See, the reason why he tell you, you really think that the host in heaven right now is sitting up there talking about, oh, boy, we got to make sure we keep the Sabbath. Oh, we got to make sure they don't need that, man. Ain't nobody up there, no sinner, boy. That's not what's going on. Man, when all things get fulfilled, man, it's over with. There's not going to be no need for the word like that no more. It's done. It's a wrap. Ain't enough of the sons of God worshiping at the throne of the living Alahym. At that point, it's over. It's over. You think you finna be in the kingdom of heaven talking about, hey, man, you better not get no shrimp. Man already told you when he make a new heaven and a new earth, that man say from new moon to new moon, from Shabbat to Shabbat, you're going to come up and worship. All that meaning from month to month and week to week. Man, what you think you finna be doing in the kingdom of heaven? Kicking back and relaxing? Man, you finna be worshiping the Father forever. See, that's why I told you that Yahuwah ain't enough. That don't appeal to nobody. The actual thought process of your whole life is going to be dedicated to worshiping, serving, and praising the living Alahym don't delight to niggas because they ain't doing it now. They ain't doing it now. They don't want to do it now. So you think you're going to convince me you want to do it in eternity? You don't want to do it now. You don't want to dedicate your whole life to him now. What you think you're going to be doing in the kingdom of heaven? Waiting on the goddamn Super Bowl? Waiting on the Grammys? See, you say you hate all this wicked stuff, but you really don't. Because you hoping that stuff can transfer over to his house. No, that's not happening. Just like it said in Jeremiah 33. You're going to be saying, hallelujah of hosts, for Yahuwah is good, and his mercy endure forever. The voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, voice of the bride. Man, it's going to be worshiping and the praise of Yahuwah forever. If that don't appeal to you, this might not be what you want to do. Yeah, you think it's just about, yeah, we're going to get delivered from our enemy. Boy, it's bigger than that, boy. It's way bigger than that. If that's what you thought this was about, boy, you got in the wrong game. You in the wrong game. Well, it's about him. It's always been about him. That's why I get infuriated when I hear people say the book about Israel. Shut your stupid behind up. The book about Yahuwah. That book ain't about you, nigga. How the book gonna be about you when you a sinner? Why he gonna write a book about a sinner? The book is about Alahym's love and redemption for that which he created. It's not about you. You a big player in this story, my G. You want to be about you to cover up for your insecurities and lack because you're a loser in your life. So you think knowing we're Israelite is going to make you better. Hey, my G, I'm going to read you this Romans 9, and then we're going to go back to Genesis, man. I'm going to read you this Romans 9. I mentioned it earlier. I'm going to read it. See, I don't give a damn. See, this channel not monetized. I don't get paid. So that means if I hit you up and say, hey, brother, I need this here, that means I'm in need. Straight like that. Ain't going to be no other reason. Because other than that, I ain't going to ask you for nothing. Shalom, Sister Kelly. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't around here talking about donate and get this here and get that there. You know why? Because if you know the word and you believe that's what you ought to do, then that's what you're going to do. I'm not going to tell you to do it. You know what the word say, you do what the book say. And for me, as long as you live in Kadash and you got faith in God, that's enough for me. As long as I can see the advent of the word in you, oh, that's enough for me. That's enough for me. But if you're around here playing, skinning and grinning, oh yeah, you're going to hell. And I look in your face and tell you you're going. You know what I'm talking about? Because you playing games. You playing games. You think I've been doing this for 12 years for the hell of it? Nigga, I could be watching wrestling right now. Nigga, I'm tired. You know what I'm talking about? But guess what? This dope got to get served, so dope get served. And if one of y'all saved your soul, it was worth it. If all y'all went to hell, God forbid, it's still worth it because Yahuwah got esteem regardless. You know what I'm talking about? Let that be known. Let's not neglect that fact. You know what I'm talking about? But like Paul said, I don't want my labor to be in vain, man. I ain't been sitting around here with some of y'all for damn near a decade for you to perish on the house. Y'all realize some of y'all been around here for damn near 10 years? They get 2024. Some of y'all came around here in 2015, man. It's been damn near a decade. Man, don't you think after a decade, man, prayerfully that the Son of God would have been formed in you by this point? That's the point. That's the point, for the Son of God to be formed in you, man. That's the point. That's what we do this for. We don't do this for fame. We don't do this for money. We don't do this for praise. We don't do this for accolades. This is that Abba Bahashem Yahushua HaMashiach could be formed in each and every one of you. That's what we're here for. That's it. I don't care nothing about no subscribers. I don't care about no listeners, no members. Who care about that? That don't mean nothing. All these niggas got a whole bunch of subscribers, and them and their subscribers going to hell. Because they in the game for the wrong reason. Man, Romans 9, man. Praise Yahuwah, man. Romans 9, man. 9 and 6, man. Not as though the word of Alahym have taken none effect, for they not all Yasharal, which are of Yasharal, neither because they are the seed of Abraham, all sons, but in Isaac shall your seed be called. That is, they which are the sons of the flesh, these are not the sons of Alahym, but the sons of the promise are counted for the seed, not seeds of many. Yeah, I got you, Sister Mika. It's all good. I get what you're on. Not seeds of many, but seeds of one. That seed being a Mashiach. That seed being Adam. You know what I'm talking about? That seed being the Son of God. That's what it's about. I tell y'all this all the time. We know each other because of Yahuwah. We have a chance to our lives have had a chance to intersect because of Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason. That's why I always take, you don't need to be looking at nobody sideways, talking about, oh, you don't fellowship with us. That's goofy stuff. I'm only putting this on tape because I want every brew who hear that, and if they think this way, to understand how goofy they are. How you ain't got love for somebody who's of the same elements that you from? If you say you are the Ruach and you see them and they say, I serve Yahuwah too. You don't serve Yahuwah for real. I don't like that. I told you I've been sized like that. It didn't affect me mentally like that. It just showed me like it's something wrong with them. And I don't want none of us to do somebody like they did us. Because I ain't respect that. And you not finna come around here and do that and you got that from me. That's gonna be all you. You know what I'm talking about? That's gonna be all you. Man, look here, man. We ain't caught up on, oh well, your women wear pants, ours don't. I don't care. If that's what y'all do over there, that's what I'm not pressed about that. Oh, we keep the Sabbath like this. Y'all keep it like that. Okay, bro. I'm not pressed about that, man. I'm not finna be looking at you sideways about that, bro. You believe in the Mashiach according to the scriptures, brother? You live clean and set apart? That other stuff, man, I don't really care about that, bro. I'm not going to be looking at you sideways about that, man. That's not that serious, brother. Not to be coming at you like, I ain't fooling with you and all this old pussy goofy stuff niggas be doing, talking about everybody, man, and down talking people because they don't do it just like you do it in certain areas, man. That ain't even that serious. It ain't. I told you a while back, man, dude, like, oh, you ain't got a problem. I'm like, nigga, this my homeboy, bro. You think because they start the Sabbath in the daytime and we started at night, I'm going to have an issue with this, man? Do you not know what having love in your heart is, brother? You don't know how to love somebody? You mean to tell me a certain difference make you not love somebody, bro? What's wrong with y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's wrong with us, man? That junk gonna make me think like, man, your people ain't love you, bro. I ain't saying that to be funny, man. Real talk, man. If you know you came from a background, man, and ain't nobody really love you for real, man, well, you need to go talk to somebody about that, bro. I'm not being funny. I'm not being facetious. I'm not trying to down talk nobody, man. Shalom, Brother Van, man. I'm being serious, bro. If you know you come from a background, man, your people ain't really love you like that, or you believe the people you was around ain't really had no love for you like that, man, you're not going to really be able to effectively love other people. Because you don't know what that's like. And you yearning for it and you desiring it, but you're not going to know how to give it to somebody else. I told you I was in the room a long time ago. You talking about everybody got this here. I say, nah, bro. I done told you plenty of times, boy, my people love me, bro. I don't come from that. I don't come from that, man. I'm not finna sit here and disrespect my people and say they ain't love me because I'd be lying, man. You know what I'm talking about? I can tell you, my old lady can tell you, her people love her. She ain't gonna sit here and tell you, man, my parents ain't love me. She ain't gonna be able to tell you that. She'd be lying. You know what I'm saying? So when you come from that, man, and you know you have people who love you, man. I did tell somebody the other day, man, I made it my business, man, just observing what was going on with the girls I grew up with, man. How I seen they ain't really had no male figure that loved them, man, and how that affected their behavior. I made it my business to know that if my little sister didn't know that somebody loved her on this earth, she was gonna know I did. And it was certain behaviors that I refused to participate in, whether my sister seen them or not, just for that fact. Because I didn't want her walking around here believing that ain't no man loved her. If she didn't know nobody else loved her, she was gonna know her brother did. Straight like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't got that in, if ain't nobody did that for you, man, you're going to have a hard time moving in life, man. Because that's how you're going to fall out with people. You're going to beef with people. You're going to have all the extra stuff going on with people because ain't nobody love you. So you'll let a difference cause you to have a problem with somebody you say is a brother or a friend. I grew up, boy, I love my friends, man. I still love them niggas to this day. I still talk to these niggas, man. You understand me? You think we ain't butt heads and ain't see eye to eye on stuff? Sure. But that difference wasn't gonna affect the love, man. The love was greater than a disagreement. If you don't understand that love is greater than a disagreement, the spirit of God ain't in you. It's not in you. And you got some reassessment to do. Let me see what it say. Yeah, I had brothers disassociated with me because I ain't joined their assemblies. Brothers I've known since college. Damn. You say just the love from my father and mother was enough to negate the mistreatment from anyone else. I heard that, man. And that's tough right there, Yasha, man. Because that ain't cool. So you don't love me no more because I don't want a fellowship with you? Who say I got a fellowship with you, man? Who cares about that? Like, why is that an issue for people, man? That means that you in the word for the wrong reasons. I don't care where you fellowship at. Long as you getting word to save your soul, what I care for? It ain't my word. I didn't create it. This word was here before I got here. And God forbid if I was to die tonight, it's still going to be here. It's still going to have to be preached. The word didn't start nor end with me. So I don't care where you go. When I say I don't care where you go, meaning that I'm not going to try to hinder you or disassociate or ridicule you because you choose to fellowship over here. Only thing I care about is, do you hear the voice of the shepherd when you go around there? Because I'm going to say something to you. If you know ain't no word around there and you still going around there, what's wrong with you? Think my sister went in fellowship somewhere else. I ain't looking at her and say, I don't fool with you no more because you went over here. Long as you believe that word there, I don't care where you go. But if the word ain't there, why is your silly behind run there? What's wrong with you? This ain't no country club. You're supposed to be there for the word, baby. Come on, man. Yeah, I know you told me. She said she been dolo for 11 years. We gotta do better. We got to do better. That man said, they'll know we his disciples if we love one another. But if you don't love yourself, how you going to love your brother? You ain't going to love your wife. You ain't going to love your kid. You certainly ain't going to love your who. If you don't love yourself. Come on, man. Back to Genesis 1:1, man. He said, in the beginning, Alahym created the heavens and the earth was without form and void. Indeed, amen. And darkness upon the face of the deep, and the ruach of Alahym moved upon the face of the waters. And Alahym said, let there be light, and there was light. And Alahym saw the light, that good. And Alahym divided the light from the darkness, and Alahym called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. Come over here to Zechariah 14, man. We done talked about this here, right? He gonna redo creation at his return. But guess what? The earth is without form and void and full of darkness right now. Right now. What you think going on out here? You think it's nice out here? When you look at the earth being without form, just in case you remember, that is tohu, tau, hey, and u. And that is a wasteland, a wilderness, a place of chaos, nothingness, empty space, formlessness, confusion, unreality. You don't think this is a place of chaos out here right now, man? You don't think this is a place of disorder out here right now, man? You got men who want to be women and women who want to be men. We sitting here listening to grown people saying it's just entertainment while you got a grown man putting his wee-wee on a man's wife. But you don't care because they sing and dance. Let me tell you something, right? Because I mentioned that for a reason. When you seen the women who said there wasn't nothing wrong with that, that's how you know that ain't a wife. You don't fool with women like that. See, a lot of y'all, the problem is you'll see stuff and you want to fight and argue with the women instead of taking note. That's not a woman you married. Because no woman who's a self-respecting woman is a wife is going to feel that, man, look at man, if that woman a wife and she love you, Brad, and another man came to hug her from behind, she would be disgusted. She would have moved immediately. Guess what? I bet you ain't a single solitary singer or rapper on earth will walk up on Beyonce like that. I bet you it won't happen. You know what I'm talking about? You know why? Number one, niggas got too much respect for a husband. And number two, she ain't going to allow it. She didn't even allow it. Yeah, with Sean Paul, she didn't even allow it. See, this is the part y'all don't pay attention. A woman who a wife is not even going to allow that to happen. Nigga, that's disrespect. Give a damn about no entertainer and no performance. But see, these bald-headed scallywag mutt hoes ain't gonna tell you that. Because boy, Beyonce ain't gonna let that happen. You know why? She love her husband. See, it's another part of that game why you ain't gonna understand that. Because see, Alicia Keys was willing to be a side chick. You understand that she was fooling with this man while he was married. That woman was a willing side chick. You don't marry no woman who's willing to be no side chick. You don't marry no woman willing to be no side chick, but you niggas don't understand that and peep that game, man. That's not a wife he married to. That's why she was around here skin. Did you see the orgasmic look of joy on her face? That's not acting. You can't act that. That woman enjoyed that. I'm telling you, you have never heard any man having the opportunity to walk up on Beyonce like that. That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. That's a woman who had no respect for her husband and a man who had no respect for her husband. See, this is another part of the game that you know Alicia Keys don't give a damn about Swiss Beats because she said when she first met him, she didn't like him. And he was stupid enough to keep chasing after this woman when she didn't like you. She didn't like you, but she was willing to be your side chick. Man, I'm telling you now, if a woman is willing to be a side chick, boy, that's all you need to know about her. You don't marry no woman who's willing to do that. You don't marry no woman who's willing to do that. See, I'm telling you this, brothers, for a reason. Y'all see stuff, man, and you want to argue with the women about how they being wrong instead of assessing the minds. Because, see, you want to change this woman to be something different than who she is. If she a hoe, let her be a hoe. Didn't Willie D tell you that? I guess y'all didn't know that because some of y'all too young to know that. Man, look here, man. You let a hoe be a hoe. You let a wife be a wife. You let a lady be a lady. You let a disciplinary problem be a disciplinary problem. You don't try to comport, or change anyone to be anything other than who they are. If that woman dressed like a prostitute, then let her dress like a prostitute. You don't try to change her to not dressing like a prostitute. Let her be who she is, man. And find a woman who aligns with what it is that you want. That's why he told you don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. You men are too busy trying to make somebody be what you want them to be so you could be with them. That's not what men do. The same thing for you ladies. Stop dealing with a nigga who ain't what you want. If you want a godly man, don't try to get no sinner and turn him into one. If you want a hustler, don't try to motivate a nigga who want to stay playing Mad Dad Do Dirty House. If that nigga was a bum when you met him, he gonna be a bum while he hitting you. He gonna be a bum when you have his kids, and he gonna be a bum when you married to him. That's not gonna change. That ain't who he is. Marriage don't make nobody get no ambition. That don't give you no work ethic. You already got to have that before you meet that woman, man. If that's not who he is, baby, ain't nothing you gonna do. You can't love him into that, baby. Stop trying. But see, what ends up happening, you end up giving your womb to these niggas because you think your womb good enough to make him be something that he ain't. It's not. I promise it's not. It's not. It's just a temporary feeling, baby. He gonna be that same goofy bum broke nigga he wore before you gave him some. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, don't do it to yourself. But see, nobody ain't gonna tell us that because we like to justify behavior. We like to justify behavior, baby. You gotta have a standard for yourself. You just can't be with anybody just because they willing. You only do that when you feel like you can't get nobody. Oh, don't live your life like that, baby. Aretha said that's why she lost her voice, because she was a scallywag. I heard Aretha Franklin was a scallywag. That was unfortunate to hear. I didn't know too much about her background until she died, and I seen that she was a full-fledged whore. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about full-fledged. It looked like her whoredom came from some sexual abuse in her childhood. You know what I'm talking about? I just seen that this morning about Tammy Terrell. I didn't, because I don't know all these people's background, and she had some sexual. Yeah, and it seemed that it stemmed from sexual abuse that began in her childhood, and why she allowed herself to be subjected to such terrible and horrible treatment. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, she said that about Alicia Keys. Oh, they said Alicia. Well, from what people said, they said Alicia Keys ain't never been that good of a live performer. I'd never know, because I wouldn't pay to see Alicia Keys perform under any circumstance. But that's not because I have a problem with Alicia Keys, because I'm not, y'all already know, I would only pay money to see one person perform, and it ain't Alicia Keys. You know what I'm talking about? Tell you that. It's Anita Baker. That's the only, I ain't paying to see no rapper perform. I don't want to see nobody else. I'll pay money to see Anita Baker. That's it. That's the only person that I'll see perform is Anita Baker. You know what I'm talking about? If it ain't Anita Baker, man, I'm not, nigga, I put that CD on, man. It's the same. I promise it is. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, I don't want to see none of them niggas. Man, you know how much them tickets cost? Man, I don't want to see nobody that bad, man. I'm not finna be spending all that money and stuff and tough in traffic to hear a nigga sing a song. Man, bump all that. Come on, man. Where was that? Yeah, I can't do it. I can't even remember where I was going. Oh, yeah, Zechariah 14. Praise God. We almost out of time. I give you a little over, though. Yeah, I can do it. I ain't mad at y'all if y'all do like to go to concerts. I'm speaking for myself. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to ridicule nobody. If you want to see somebody perform, if you see the value of spending your money to see a certain person perform, then that's all that matters. I ain't got to see the value in it. It ain't my money. You know what I'm talking about? I'm speaking for me. You know what I'm saying? Anita Baker old now, so it's too late. I ain't catch it when she was here about 5-6 years ago. So, you know, that's pretty much over with. That's probably not going to happen. Zechariah 14, man. Verse 5. And you shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of the mountains shall reach to Azal. Yea, you shall flee like as you fled from the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, Malachah, Yehuda, and Yahuwah, my Alahym, shall come, and all the saints with you. And it shall come to pass in that day, the light shall not be clear, dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahuwah, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass at evening time, it shall be light. So, of course, I'll go get it. Come on, Isaiah 34, because some of them verses been referenced. Some of this stuff is bringing to remembrance the things that we done talked about over the course of the years. So just keep that in mind. So praise Yahuwah. We done talked about a lot of things over the years. He said he done took my lady to a few festivals. I ain't mad at you, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If that's what, I'm saying. I've had this thought process since I was a teen. You know what I'm talking about? I had a thoughts to go into a Wu-Tang concert. My mama wouldn't let me go. I forgot. It's something I did, though, why I couldn't go. They didn't even let me having a concert, man. Wu-Tang ended up swinging on the promoters at that particular time because they ain't had their money. Then when the Hard Knock Life tour came, I was like, I like Jay, but I don't like him enough to buy a ticket to go watch him perform. I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? My homeboys done went, but I'm like, no, I'm good, but I'm not paying to see this thing. You know what I'm saying? And I listen to that album all the time. I'm not paying to see this nigga. I'm straight on that. You know what I'm saying? When T.I. and Juvenile, all them came through the city, I'm not paying to see these niggas, bro. I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm good on that. Truth be told, that Fringe Fest might have been the first actual concert that I ever been in my entire life. And the reason why I went is because, Lil Trav was there. Because he would perform. Because if he wasn't performing, I wasn't going. That's the only reason why I went. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's an artist, Hezekiah, that my old lady like, come up there and see him perform live. I'm like, man, I don't want to see these niggas perform. There's nothing against them. You know what I'm saying? But little brother going, he on the stage. Okay, we riding for the crew. It's 5 hours away. We gone. You know what I'm saying? They having another one. I don't think little brother gonna be on stage. We probably ain't going. Let Will get a chance to get on stage. He get on stage, yeah, we gone. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, if I get an opportunity, Monte be on stage, yeah, we gone. For the crew, yeah, we gone. If he's gonna be on stage and then somewhere we could get there, yeah, we gone. Yeah, for the crew, oh yeah, absolutely, every time. But for niggas I don't know, yeah, I'm skeptical. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm skeptical. I ain't on that. You know what I'm talking about? Straight like that. But for the crew, yeah, we gone, bro. Every time. Ain't even no talk about it. If I can get there, and logistics work, money straight, yeah, we gone. Got to be there. You know what I'm talking about? Why wouldn't we? Yeah, man, that's how that works. I think that page gone in this book. Let me pull it up on this app. Isaiah 34:4, y'all. I know I left a few people out, but y'all get the gist. I ain't trying to leave nobody out. Isaiah 34:4. We want to get this thing popping down here, man, but them rules don't fool with us like that. It might just be our crew, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, because, we don't blow booty holes and perform fellatio. You know what I'm talking about? So, them boys don't fool with us like that. Isaiah 34:4. And all the hosts of Shamahim shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and their host shall fall down, as the leaf fall from off the vine, as a falling from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in Shamahim, and behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, upon the people of my curse, the judgment. The sword of Yahuwah is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of kidneys of rams. For Yahuwah have a sacrifice in Bozrah and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Now, of course, y'all know from things that we done discussed previously. Jason. Now, Frankie Beverly and Mays, Yahuwah Baruch, Brother Shaul. Frankie Beverly and Mays, I ain't got no problem with that. Now, it's not. Now, there's certain people that my old lady like to see. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know she liked Frankie Beverly and Mays. So, yeah, if there was an opportunity to, he said, you going to see him too? Oh, man. Jay said she seen Dougie Fresh and Frankie Beverly and Mays. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's certain artists that I know my old lady like that if the opportunity, yeah, we slide through that because I know she going to want to see him. Like Frankie Beverly and Mays, I wouldn't be like, damn, I don't want to go to her with this one here. I can deal with that. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't going to lie to you. Rappers, though, Man, I'm not paying to see none of them niggas, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't gonna lie to you. Man, about the only rapper I might pay to see, man, maybe the Locks, maybe Ghostface and Raekwon. That's where it stopped. That's where it stopped. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's where it stopped. Yeah, that's where it stopped. Oh, I'll take that back. We used to go to Come Together Day, so I have seen niggas perform at Come Together Day. You know what I'm saying? I forgot about that. You know what I'm saying? That was free then. I think we seen R. Kelly perform at Come Together Day. Yeah, they don't do that no more. Yeah, they don't do that no more. Mika said she saw Bootsy in her Army days. Shoot, if you was in Jacksonville, you was gonna see Bootsy on any day around here. Boy, Bootsy was here more than niggas who lived here. You know what I'm talking about? Jay says she definitely think it's different with singers and musicians. Yeah, I mean, Anita Baker is my favorite artist, period. Since I was like 5, 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's why I pay to see Anita Baker. Definitely only went to one concert. That was Big Crit. I'm not even too familiar with his music. You know what I'm saying? We already know. See, Boot done went and seen everybody. You know she done. Then he say Juicy J. Taylor Gang. I like Wiz Khalifa. She was black and yellow. So listen, right? I'll do the same. Yeah, I only heard one song, man. It's a song he got with Slim Thug, but it just, man, I had a time period, man, especially when I first jumped in the world, bro. I was disconnected from all music, period. So you want to say from a period of like 2009, man, to about 2016, 17, man, I ain't know who Future was till like about damn near 2020. You know what I'm saying? I still don't know the majority of Drake music. You know what I'm talking about? Cause man, I ain't know who the nigga was. I don't know nothing about Nicki Minaj or nothing. That's not to say that these people music is. I mean, because of course it's secular music, so you know it's gonna have what it's gonna have in it. But I don't. Yeah, man, I was on something else. Gotcha. So I seen Drake and Jeremiah in concert in college for free. Mika said she don't listen to much music, but I did go see specific musicians who ain't. No, I understand, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Meet up here, I wasn't listening to nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Not a song. But the only thing I was really listening to was the Lauryn Hill Unplugged album when I first got out of prison, man. I ain't had no iPod, no phone, no nothing, so it wasn't nothing for me to listen to. You know what I'm talking about? So I wasn't listening to nothing. Nothing. And wasn't trying to either. I wasn't trying to go back and listen to nothing I used to listen to. Man, my mind was on the word. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it wasn't on some old holy sanctimonious type of stuff. I just didn't have any access to XYZ. And I was locked in on something else. And I just was rolling with that. You know what I'm saying? I just was rolling with that. That's all. Like I said, I was just disconnected, man. I was out here in these streets moving word, man. So my mind was on something totally different. That's all. So listen, right? We just wanted you to aspect to see how the recreation, how it go dark and the earth being without form and void as it was in Genesis. He said, I was ashamed to say I was the biggest Drake fan, but knowing what's behind it and who they serve, I moved away from most secular music. I mean, I can understand why you would say you would be ashamed, man. You know what you know. No, I did have a CD player, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I forgot who gave me the CD player, but I definitely did because somebody bought me the Lauryn Hill Unplugged on CD. That's all I had, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, that's all I had. You know what I'm saying? And it worked for me. Because at that time, that's all I really wanted to hear. So we at day one, right? I'll slide through day two, man. We'll call it a wrap because it's 9 o'clock. But I want y'all to keep Genesis 8:22 filed in your mind, though. Hold on. He said to separate the night from the day. I need to do that. I need to deal with him separating light from darkness. So you see at evening time, he said there'll be light. So at this particular vantage point, you see how when Yahushua come back, he going to separate the day from the night or the light from the dark. Let's come over here to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. He going to separate the sons of God from the daughters of men, the sons of God from the children of the devil. This has to be a separation. See, we'll get caught up in looking at that creation, what other people are arguing about, and we'll miss the greater point that it's pointing to. You know what I'm saying? See, some people say you're over spiritualizing it, and that's why you're going to hell. Let me tell you something, man. How could you over spiritualize the Ruach of Yahuwah? When you hear somebody say that, a lot of the times that means they ain't got the Ruach of God in them. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't see what the man trying to do. The reason why I say that is because some people want to stay in this particular creation. They don't want to be a part of the new creation that he is going to create. That's why it's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. It's going to be different. This was for the first sons of God, or for the first Adam, who was a living soul. The new heaven and new earth is for the second Adam, who was a life-giving Ruach. This is something totally different, because the living Alahym going to be dwelling with man. The living Alahym didn't dwell with Adam. The living Alahym going to dwell with the second Adam. Yeah, man, that's how that's going to go. That's how that's going to go. Like I told people before, man, I'm not saying this for y'all who on here. I'm saying for this for people who going to click on, because you might want to unsubscribe. Because if you're looking for that other stuff that people be on, you're not going to get that here. You're not going to get that. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get the word that's going to save your soul. You're going to get this work, man. You're going to get it just like he gave to me. We don't put no cut on it. 100% pure cocaine, numb your face. You know what I'm talking about? But it'll get your faith up. When you get your faith up, it'll get your godliness up. And you ain't going, and it'll get that sin up out you. See, telling you the law ain't going to get the sin up out you. All the law going to do is identify the sin that's in you, but it ain't going to get it up out you. That faith going to get that sin up out you. You know why it's going to get that sin up out you? Because you're going to trust and believe. See, you're going to be like what Jacob said in Genesis 28. If you be with me on this journey I be on, and you give me bread to eat. Let me just read it to you, man. Let me just read it to you. I just let Jacob tell it to you. I ain't got to tell it to you. Genesis 28, man. Listen what this man say, verse 20. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if Alahym be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my Abba's house in Shalom, then shall Yahuwah be my Alahym. Look at what Jacob asked for. Jacob just asked for, man, just give me bread to eat and clothes to put on. Just give me a little bit of word and some Ruach. I'm good, baby. That's all I need. All I need is some word and some Ruach, and I'm good. That's why I told you that's why Yahuwah ain't enough for people. If bread and raiment was good enough for Jacob, why that ain't good enough for you? Let me ask you that question again. If bread and clothing was good enough for Jacob, and I know you dare wouldn't utter the words, much less the thought in your heart that you more righteous than Jacob. If bread and raiment were good enough for Jacob for Yahuwah to be his God, why that ain't good enough for you? Why you need more? What more can the man do? That's all Jacob asked for. Jacob said, you do this here. And he said, I'll give you a tenth of everything I got if you shoot it to me. That's how much he loved it. See, we've been and talking about this here before, man. And I just go back to the thing I'm talking about before. Not for no tithe, for you to pay no tithe, but just to understand how wicked these brews is, man. Because Abraham dropped the 10. Jacob said, if you give me bread and raiment and be my God and bring me back to where I came from in peace, I'm going to drop the 10. But you'll turn around and say, that's for the Levites. That's how I know you stupid. You know what I'm talking about? Because you got two witnesses before there was a Levite ever in the earth, that two men more righteous than all us put together did that. I'm talking about knowing the word. I tell you these things so you can know the word. You need to know the word. So when you hear these people say these things, you know they don't know the law like that. Because everybody talk about Abraham paying the 10, but don't nobody talk about Jacob doing it. Let me just read that to you if you think I'm making that up. 28 and 20 again. Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if Alahym be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my Abba's house in Shalom, then shall Yahuwah be my Alahym. And this stone, which I have set for a pillar, shall be Alahym's house. And of all that you shall give me, I will surely give the tenth unto you. Now that's what Jacob said. And he vowed a vow that he would do it. Now, I'm telling you this here because you need to know your law, man. Please do not think that this is a solicitation for your resources. You need to know your law, man. So when you hear somebody say, the tithe was only for the Levite, well, what you going to do with Abraham and Jacob? What you going to do with that? I say that because if you are in the priesthood of Melchizedek and you got that one day, or AKA that 1,000 years, you're going to be with Mashiach, what you think you're going to be doing there? You think you ain't going to give him a tenth of everything you got? What you think you're going to be doing there? Revelation 21 say all the kings of the earth going to bring all their stuff up in there. Psalm 68 and 29 say all the kings of the earth going to come to Jerusalem and drop their gold off there. What is you talking about? What is you talking about? I'm telling you this to know your law, man. You need to know the word. You need to know the word. You need to know, why did Jacob say this? Oh, this predates Aaron. You thought Yahuwah was doing something for Aaron that he ain't never did before? You thought Yahuwah didn't have a priesthood before Aaron? That's what you thought? You know why we think this? Because we done let men tell us that the law of Yahuwah wasn't in the earth until he made a covenant with Israel on Mount Sinai. That's pure and utter insanity. That's pure and utter insanity. If you allow somebody to convince you that the law of Yahuwah wasn't in the earth until he made a covenant with Moses, then how was this man going to be justified with flooding the earth? How was he going to be justified with doing that? Because they would have had to break something in order for him to do that. How was this man? What's another incident I'm trying to think in my mind, man? Again, how would Joseph know that it would be a sin against Yahuwah to not sleep with this man's wife? How would Judas know that if his son was supposed to raise a seed up for his brother? How would he know that? You thought they just came up with this on their own? If he said, I know Abraham will teach his household justice and judgment, where did he get justice and judgment to know to teach it? If he said, I know he'll keep the way of Yahuwah, which is a way of life, then where did Abraham get this way of life from? Who taught it to him? Oh, you thought Melchizedek, the priest of the Most High God, just was there for nothing. And the book say the priest's lips should keep knowledge and the people should seek the law of Yahuwah at his mouth. Where you think these people got this information from? Shalom, that man. Where you think these people got this information from? You thought it just popped up on Sinai? Do you not? How would Amalek know that when Yahuwah said, I know you did this in your integrity? For that man to have integrity, for him to have Tom, to him to have moral innocence, there would be some instruction that this man would have to know to be able to have integrity, to know that I wouldn't sleep with another man's wife. Yeah, absolutely. Because how would they know what to sacrifice? You think they just woke up one day and say, let's sacrifice it? Remember what we talked about with Seth and Enos? How are they going to be able to call upon the name of Yahuwah? And how are you going to call upon him you have not heard? And how can you hear without a preacher? How are they going to, where you think the people got this from? You done let these niggas think everything started on Mount Sinai. Them people ain't supposed to be teaching the word. This is stupid. Shalom, Hashem, man. Good to see you, my G. Like, come on, man. That's right, Debo, man. Like, come on, man. These people crazy, man. That's how we know that the tree of knowledge of good and evil would have had to be the law. The law is literally the knowledge of good and evil. That's literally what it is. He never wanted you to have that because you weren't a sinner. That's why he say when heaven and earth pass away, that's when the law will pass away, because there ain't going to be no sinners there. It's going to be just like it was in the beginning. Sons of God, baby. We have walked around here and we really believe that Yahuwah is defined by his law, not where he actually professed his name and let you know what he was defined by. You think he defined by Sabbath days, feast days, and pork chops. You are insane. You have let an unskilled, unlearned, idiotic imbecile teach you about a God that he don't serve and don't know. You know what I'm talking about? Because anybody who know Yahuwah, they will let you know that he's merciful, gracious, long-suffering, abundant in goodness and truth, and forgiving sin and iniquity. Literally what the Apostle John said, that he's love. That's what they would tell you. The book say he was going to draw you with love and kindness, not with laws. He never said he'd draw you with no laws. You can't read nowhere where he say that's what he was going to draw you with. You can't read it nowhere. That ain't what he draws your forefathers out of Egypt with. Show me where he said, thus saith the law, to draw them to him. He ain't never do that. But see, somebody right now, he sound like a Christian. No, I sound like somebody who know Yahuwah. You sound like a damn fool. You sound like you don't know God, boy. Because you want to tell somebody, he telling people not to keep something that you already ain't keeping, and you telling people to keep it. I ain't got to tell you to keep something that I'm already keeping. You're already supposed to know you're supposed to keep that. I ain't got to tell you that. Y'all ain't never paid attention that the people who tell you to keep the law the most will tell you in the same breath they a sinner. And you listen to that? Come on, man. That's like listening to somebody tell you you don't need to beat your meat and you catch him in the closet fondling himself. But you're going to keep on listening to him. I know I told you not to do it, but it feels good to me. Come on, man. You really going to listen to somebody tell you to do something that they ain't doing? And then try to ridicule you and castigate you for you saying I don't want to do it when you say to do it and you don't do it? Nigga, don't you know you 3 times is worse? What's wrong with you? But let somebody tell people to trust in the word of the living Alahym and put your faith and hope and in him. And now all of a sudden there's something wrong with you. Y'all don't see that there's something wrong with them? Why would somebody want to discourage you from trusting in Yahuwah? Why would you want somebody to discourage you from having faith in Yahuwah's promises in his word? That don't bother y'all that dudes try to discourage you from that? Don't you realize that's got to be the devil working in them? That don't persuasion don't come from him that called you. Come on, man. Be real with yourself. He says that the same as Israel rejecting Alahym at the mount and choosing the law over relationship with Alahym. I mean, for the most part. I mean, I say this here. At the mount, they was going to get the law regardless, Mika. They were going to get that regardless. So it's more so Adam rejecting them in the garden by not taking the tree of life versus taking the knowledge of good and evil. Because by the time we got to the mount, you was getting the law regardless. That's what you was there for. But see, the faith in God should have caused them to live according to that faith. See, that's what a lot of brothers overlook. Israel was drawn out of Egypt by faith. Everything they had to do to get out of Egypt, with all the wrath and all them signs and plagues he dropped on Egypt, was for the people to know that they could trust in Yahuwah. It's also overlooked in Exodus 4 that the people didn't know Yahuwah. They ain't know no word. So what did he do with Aaron and Moses? He used signs and wonders, because signs and wonders are for those who don't believe. And then the last thing they had to do was put the blood on your doorpost. So he drew them out by faith. They were not delivered by the law. They were delivered by faith. See, Brews don't want to talk about that. They can't see that. They weren't delivered by the law. They weren't saved by the law. They were saved by faith. If they put that blood on that doorpost, that's what would have saved them. Not you didn't eat no pork today. Not you kept the Sabbath today. That's not what gave them life. Faith gave them life. But see, these boys not spiritually astute enough to see that. So when they came out, and now they going in the wilderness, what kept them going in the wilderness for 40 years? It wasn't them breaking the law. It was their unbelief. It wasn't them breaking the law that got their carcasses dropped in the wilderness. It was their unbelief. So see, when he say the just shall live by their faith, that's what you seen with Caleb and Yahushua son of Nun. They lived by it. That's why they was able to keep his instructions along with the faith and bring back the good report. Moses lived by faith also. You know what I'm talking about? Because he had respect to the recompense of the reward, so therefore you keep the instructions. Notice that he came with faith first and instructions second. And ain't that's what Paul them writing in their letters? But see, it's in the law, but these men are not skilled enough to see that. He came with faith first. You can't come with law first, because law don't put the trust and hope in God. That's not, it's all it is the knowledge of good and evil. It's pinpoint what's good and what's wrong. You can't come with that first. That's why the word is ineffective in this dispensation of time with the niggas who teaching it, because they teaching it backwards than what Yahuwah himself did. That's how you know they're not a God. That's how you know these niggas not a God, because they're not even doing what he did. We could set the New Testament to the side. That man led with faith first. Look at man. Before they left out of Egypt, that man Moses was telling them that they were going to slide. But he said, man, but if you could see it, then why would you wait for it? You know what I'm talking about? Anything backwards is of the devil. That's right. You got to pay attention to that. Go search the text and look. Go back and look at Exodus and read it. He led with faith first. He didn't lead with law first. When you look from Exodus 1 to Exodus, 16, really. Shoot, all the way to 8, really 19. All that's faith. It wasn't no law delivered yet. You get to chapter 20, he started giving instructions. He led with faith first. So when you see the people reject, that's why that man was wroth with them in the wilderness, man. That's why he killed them. That's why he killed them. That's why he said, stop murmuring, stop complaining, stop doing all this stuff. Nah, man, don't do that. But see, the Hebrew don't want to tell you that, man. I'm telling you, man, these niggas is not of God. Period. I don't care how many people they done told they're Israelite. They teaching backwards than what Yahuwah taught. Yahuwah taught faith. I'm talking about Yahuwah himself. Boom, what these niggas talking about? Yahuwah did it first. Man, Yahuwah did it first, man. So you mean to tell me we wiser than him? Man, look here, right? When you see him drawing Abraham out of his household, did he come with the law first or did he come with faith first? Yahuwah came with faith first with Abraham. When he stepped to Isaac, he came with faith first. When he stepped to Jacob, he came with faith first. It's in the law. It's indisputable. It ain't nothing to argue about. It's there. That's what he lead with. So why you not leading with it? You ain't leading with it because you're carnal. You ain't leading with it because he ain't gave you no pack. You ain't leading with it because you ain't on his payroll. You ain't leading with it because he ain't send you. You sent yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I didn't praise Yahuwah. I threw that piece of game in that he put in my mind for the simple fact that if you see they ain't leading with faith first, then you know that's not a teacher of God. God didn't send him. And I promise you, man, Yahuwah is my witness. I implore and encourage all of you, go search the law and see. Go search the law and see. Go look at Adam. He told him you can have a tree of life and every other tree. Don't fool with that. He wanted faith first. Go look and see. You can't become a son of God by the law. You become a son of God by the hearing of faith. Go search your law and see. Abraham was not called a friend of God because he kept the law. He was called a friend of God because he believed in Yahuwah. He counted it to him for righteousness. Go search your law and see. Go search it. It's there. So if you see Yahuwah lead with the Amunah, the Amath, and the Aman, and the Batak, and the Tikvah first, meaning faith and hope and expectation, if he lead with that first before he came with any instruction, then you know that's how anybody who Yahuwah send to teach the word, that's what they coming with. That's what they coming with. That's how you know. The book, see, Bruce like to tell you how you know if somebody of God. The man tell you how to know. We too stupid to figure it out because you're not reading and paying attention. You got respect of persons. You get caught up in cult of personality, and you want to go along to get along and be a part of something because saving your soul is not your number one priority. When saving your soul is your number one priority, then you will automatically, look here, man. Sister Jadina just put this right here, man. Just go around a bunch of Israelites, man, I'm telling you, and talk about faith, man. See how they ridicule. See how they'll call you a Christian and mock you. Just go do it for your own personal experimentation so you can see. What do you have? Hebrews 11 literally say without faith it's impossible to please him, and these niggas will mock you for that. Deuteronomy 32 say these are children in whom have no faith. This is what Yahuwah said in your law. This is what he said. That don't make no. How you gonna follow a God and you ain't even got respect to the recompense of the reward that you even have a belief that he gonna give you a reward? You gotta pay attention to these people, man. Your life on the line. We can say they dang so do. I've been called a Christian many times. I already know they do. And you know why they call you that? Because they stupid. They're morons, dweebs, imbeciles, douchebags, and retards. And they done went full retard. Never go full retard. Ain't that what Robert Downey Jr. told you? Never go full retard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Look at, man, I remember my homegirl, man, who got arrested with me on the case I went to prison on, man. And when I got out of jail, and she seen I was on the word, and I looked her dead in her face. I said, you sure this what you want to do? I say, because you know, if you fooling with me, Christians ain't going to like you and Hebrews ain't going to like you too. This like 2012, 2011, not about 2012. She couldn't understand why I said that. I say, because baby, what we finna preach out here on these streets, ain't neither one of these sides going to want nothing to do with what we talking about. They don't want nothing to do with that. Man, this is show and tell. You remember that song? That's just the game we play. That's all. That's all people want to do, man. We know that, man. Y'all have mercy on the soul of the front. Say, man, we real niggas. Straight from the collard green patch. You know what I'm talking about? Listen. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. He said, but the times and the seasons, brethren, you have no need that are right unto you. For you yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so come as a thief in the night. For when they shall say shalom and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But you, brethren, are not in darkness that they should overtake you as a thief. You are the sons of light. You are the sons of the day. We are not of night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. For Alahym have not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation by our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. Listen, man. Notice what this man told you to put on, right? Breastplate, right there in that left. The faith and love, man. Then he say, for a helmet, the hope of salvation. The very thing that you could go look and see that story in Exodus of you coming out of Egypt. It's the very thing. We could go for days. Like I told you, man, the brothers had a room, and I ain't get a chance to say too much to it because I was working, man. But dude had on there, you know, the testimony of Yahushua is the Ruach of prophecy. I say, man, what a lot of these brothers be missing, man, if they don't know the word like that. So when they don't know the word like that, they can't look at Paul's letters and see how very simplistic they are. See, when you don't know the word like that, that's why Peter said they're unlearned and unstable in the other scriptures, so they wrestle with them. When you don't know the law and the prophets like that, let me read what Peter said, man. I'm finna get y'all out of here, man. All right, because I've been kept y'all here all night about this here, man. And I know I ain't gonna be able to get to the meat and potatoes of what we here for. Second Peter chapter 3, man, verse 15. He said, and account the long suffering of our Lord salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you. Also in all epistles, speaking in them these things, which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable wrestle, as also the other scriptures unto their own destruction. See, I had a brother, he say, see, Paul's letters in scriptures. He said, as the other scriptures. And Peter, in the very same conversation, said, in his epistles. Paul's letters are not scriptures, man. They're letters to congregations about matters going on in those congregations that reference scriptures, man. So Peter letting you know that because you're unlearned and unstable, and if you're unstable, that means you're what? Double-minded. If you're double-minded, that means you lack faith. So when you're a person who's lacking faith, and then you're not learned in the scriptures, you're going to wrestle with and mess up his letters just like you do Genesis to Malachi. Because you don't believe it and you don't know it. So when you actually believe it and you know it, when you read Paul's letters, you be like, oh, he dropping words. That's what I told him, brother, earlier. I'm like, man, if you really know the word for real, man, when you read his letters, you like, oh, I know why he said this. He got this from here. Or he said this because of this. I say, and it's not necessarily wrong. We book, chapter, and verse. So everybody won't book, chapter, and verse for everything, and that's why they miss it. Because Paul would drop in word in every one of his letters. He just didn't say this is Isaiah such and such and such and such. This is Genesis such and such and such and such. You supposed to have enough understanding of the word to pick up what he was putting down. See, what these people don't realize is the people that he was writing these letters to, he taught them himself. The assembly in Rome, the assembly in Corinth, the assembly in Ephesians, the assembly in Thessalonica, he taught these people. Timothy, he taught him. He taught this young man. The Galatians, he taught these people. So he didn't have to go through all these different details. They already knew what he was talking about. He taught them. We don't understand that because most of us refuse to be taught by somebody. When I say this, meaning that this man taught you and ordained you to set up a congregation, an assembly of people to serve them. And when the issues were too great for them, they came to Paul, like the law said when it came to Moses. See, y'all forgot about that, remember? Said captains over 50, captains over 100. If that are too hard, come holler at me. Well, what you think Paul was doing with these congregations, man? But see, these niggas don't know the law like that, so they can't tell you that. That's what the apostles were for. He told the apostles, go ordain pastors and elders in these cities so they can create congregations. And when matters were too difficult, take it to the apostles. They'll deal with it. Man, look here, man. I thank Yahuwah, for one, that he done gave us an opportunity. You know what I'm talking about? For you who are willing going on 12 years, for even us to have the opportunity to slide through here and even drop some word. And when I mention the time period, I don't mention that because I don't even remember the day we started. I just remember the month. I just see the nigga talking about church anniversary. Man, you niggas better not never come asking me to do some junk like that. Because, boy, I promise to you, I'm going to put my doggone sycamore ostrich skin boot on. I'm going to kick you square in your behind, man. We ain't doing that over here. No church anniversary around here, man. We won't do none of that junk. That's goofy stuff. You know what I'm talking about? People be around here, man, ain't no first. My wife ain't no first lady. Nigga, I ain't the president. You know what I'm talking about? We won't do none of that. She a sister, just like you a sister. She ain't, look here, I ain't nobody. I'm your brother just like anybody. And we don't do none of that stuff, man. That's goofy stuff. That's stuff to try to bring attention and limelight to yourself. Around here taking a picture posing, Pastor such and such and the first lady. Come on with that stupid behind John, man. No first ladies. First lady of what? The congregation is supposed to be the first lady. John called her the elect lady. That's what that's supposed to be, not your old lady. If you have a church anniversary, what you celebrating for? What you celebrating that for? You gonna let us come together. Come on, man. You supposed to do that every time you come together. Need no anniversary for that. Like we be backwards, man. Don't turn this stuff into a show, making it about yourself. Make it about Yahuwah, man. Make it about the people, man. Make it about the word, man. You know what I'm talking about? Brother Nate, what's good with you, baby? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man, make it about that. That's more better. And I say that disrespectfully as possible. It's for ain't no first ladies. I ain't on that. I ain't on that. You ain't gonna never see me on no flyer, no outfit on cheese and with my old lady standing next to me. Look at us. No, we ain't gonna do none of that. We ain't gonna do none of that. No, we ain't gonna do that. No, I can't do it. You know what I'm talking about? I can't do it. Because see, what a lot of people don't realize is you thinking that means you putting your wife in a position in the assembly that she don't belong. You know what I'm saying? It's like you trying to elevate her above the other women for the other women to come to her for such and such and such and such and try to give her a position of authority that she don't possess. I've always been a firm believer. I don't need my old lady to preach no word. If I need my old lady to preach no word, that means I ain't supposed to be doing this job. I don't need no woman's help. I surely don't. That's no disrespect. I'm talking about to preach the word. I don't need no woman's help to run no congregation. That means I would need her help to run the household. Literally. No, I don't need her help for that. I don't need her help for that. You know what I'm saying? I don't need her help for that. She can facilitate doing the Lord's work in other ways. Just like y'all wives can facilitate doing the Lord's work in other ways. The preacher's wife ain't no elevated than any other sister in the work they doing. They all gonna get the same reward, baby. It's all for the same cause. So there's no need for no elevation. That's retarded. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. That's carnal. Now, see, that's tough come from the church house. You need to leave that there. Because you can't read that in no book. And when I say that, meaning that you can't see anybody who was in those positions trying to elevate themselves or elevate their spouse. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to do all that. But you who are willing, man, I'm going to say hallelujah for Yahusha, man. I done kept y'all on long enough, man. We had about 2 hours, man. I know I wasn't going to get to the aspect y'all willing on Shabbat, man, about the firmament and dividing the waters from the firmament and other things that pertain to that. It might take us all 3 days to get through this because clearly it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I already knew that I wasn't going to get through the entirety of the chapter with it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of information. You know what I'm talking about? So, just keep those things in mind, man. We like I said, we're going to walk it down. We got through Genesis 1 with the seeing how the earth was without form and void. So seeing the darkness on the earth, this is why he has to make a new heaven. You know what I'm talking about? This is why he got to make a new earth. And we ain't even really got to the heavens and earth part yet. It's just bringing forth the light and the day, or the sons of God and the separating the sons of God from the sons of the devil. You know what I'm talking about? And bringing some sense of order back to the earth, because it was too lies. It's chaos. It's vanity. It's nothingness. It's emptiness. This is an empty, vain existence that most people are out here living. You know what I'm saying? To be 100% honest with you. Oh, shoot, it's all good, Brother Hutch, man. Hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Praise Yahuwah. Like, this is a vain existence people out here living, man. Vain. You know what I'm talking about? Look at, man, like I told y'all the other day, right? And I meant to drop this today. I think I told y'all this, right? When you look on the natural side in the beginning, Shem, Ham, and Yafet were mentioned in the genealogy to be sons of God. But then when you get to Luke, you see it's only Shem because of the work of Ham and Yafet. And y'all willing, we're going to go into this in greater detail on Shabbat. So when you see how you say how you were strangers to the commonwealth of Yasharal and alienated from the promises, because a lot of people don't realize is that because of sin, praise you, brothers up. Because of sin, this caused the other two nation groups, meaning Ham and Yafet, to not be able to have access to be a son of God through blood. Because of coming through, because Noah's a son of God, so Ham and Yafet are supposed to be sons of God also, because of who their father is, because he comes from that line. But they decided to go sideways, and it stayed with Shem, which is how you are a son of God through blood. You understand? Shoot, praise you, Brother Smoke. Shalom, Brother Willie, man. Thank you, bro. You know what I'm talking about? So, because of the advent of Mashiach, this is how Ham and Yafet get brought back in to be the sons of God that they were before the flood. You understand? See, we have to look at all of these things so you can see how all this stuff come in together to the letters, so that the intent that Yahuwah had from the get-go is to be sons of God. See, brothers won't tell you that. Noah had 3 sons. We all know it: Shem, Ham, and Yafet. They're listed in the genealogies of the sons of God. Go read Genesis 5. You can see it for yourself. But when you go look at Luke chapter 3, like we talked about last week, it's only Shem. Ham and Yafet ain't there. We looked at why Ham and Yafet ain't there. You know what I'm talking about? So, see, this is the mastery and the love of Yahuwah. You understand? For him to pull an executed move to bring back in people who were already sons of God by lineage anyway, but sin caused them to get dropped from that. See, this is how you don't understand. You got to understand how serious sin is. See, sin got Cain cut off from the lineage of the sons of God. Sin got Ham and Yafet cut off from the lineage of the sons of God. You have to remember. Thank you, Sister Janina. You know what I'm saying? You have to remember that literally Adam's line are the sons of God. Who does Adam descend from? He descends from God. He don't descend from no man. There's no nationality that you could ascribe. Do you not notice when dudes say, what nationality was Adam? They always stuck because they don't realize he's a son of God, doofus. So that means everybody who descends from him, guess what that means, doofus? They sons of God too. That's why you shouldn't even be arguing with niggas who think sons of God is a fallen angel knocking women down. Because that means they don't know where Adam come from, which means they don't know where they come from, which means they going to hell. Because you don't even know who made you, boy. That's right, Sister Mika. Amen. That's exactly what you see. Mika said, what I see in the book is the redemption of Yah's sons, or Yah's children from the fall. That's it. That's what we're supposed to see. Everything else fall into place. You don't realize that the creation of Israel being a nation and all that stuff is just a manifestation of the play. That's just the manifestation of the play. It's not to diminish Israel or exalt the nations. It's to exalt Yahuwah. He only came to die for Israel. That's how I know you're stupid. I just told somebody that the other day. That's how I know you're stupid. Because before Israel was a nation, man already had a problem because the Son of God died. Stupid. You know what I'm talking about? But this is how I know you don't believe in God, because you so focused on what took place on Mount Sinai versus what took place in the garden, which lets me know that that's not where you want to be. Because your mind ain't on what happened there. But because before you got a covenant to break to go into captivity, you was already in the captivity to sin and death. Like I told the brother today, I say, man, who came up with this teaching that these genealogies of Matthew or Luke are Mary and Joseph? Who came up with that? Nigga gave me some old cockamamie Bo Rickle explanation. I said, that's how I know you niggas not of God. That's how I know you niggas don't know the law. How y'all niggas study the book all day and it never crossed your mind? Hey, man, Matthew sure looked like Chronicles. Luke sure looked like Genesis. That's interesting. Why does Luke end with Adam? Why does he never click in none of these men? I'm telling you this for you to ask yourself these questions. Why these men don't know this? But they always in our face trying to teach us why they don't know these things that are of Yahuwah. Not of scholarship, but of Yahuwah. Why don't know the things of the Ruach? Why don't know the things of Alahym? They give you all this scholarship, but they can't give you the things of God. What does that tell you? Could it be that they're not of God? See, that is the difficult word usage that we don't want to say. That maybe this nigga just simply not sent or of Yahuwah. And that's okay. That just means you don't listen to him, man. Now, I want y'all to understand, I'm being very specific. I'm talking about men who claim to be teachers of the word, who claim to be scribes, scholars, pastors, elders, apostles, whatever they want to call themselves, captains or whatever. I'm not talking about you if you say, hey, man, I read something, man, and I want to share it with somebody, or I have an understanding and they're having a conversation about the word. I want to share my understanding. I'm not talking about them type of people, because that's not somebody who's claiming to be somebody's teacher. Because if you claim to be somebody's teacher, you claim to be sent by Yahuwah or taught by someone who was sent by Yahuwah. That's a different conversation. If you in a conversation with somebody and you just sharing, yeah, man, or you just like this here, right? Because I was talking about a man about this here, right? People believe a testimony is you saying what happened in your life and how God came through to you. That's not a testimony. That's not a witness. A testimony in the witness is literally bearing record to that which you have known and seen. That's not what that is. That's church stuff. All that is a confession. That's Todah. You know what I'm talking about? When you do that and you testifying the goodness of Yahuwah, that's Todah. That's a confession. Remember we talked about that? That's a confession of the good way, not confession of sin, but confession of the goodness and mercy and greatness of Yahuwah. That's not a testimony. But see, people don't even know the word well enough to tell us the difference. You know why I mention that? I only mention that because that causes us from doing things according to the due order. That's all. That's the only reason why I mention it. I ain't mentioning it for no other reason than that. You know what I'm saying? My hope and my desire is that all of us be saved and that all of us actually understand the reading. As I told y'all before several times, for me to know that I was sitting in a jail cell almost 20 years ago, knowing that I'm not finna read this book and I don't understand it. And then by the grace of Yahuwah, not only do I understand it, but he has given me the ability by his grace and mercy to help others understand it. That's why I be saying the stuff that I be saying so vehemently and repetitiously, so that you can understand what you're reading. Because if you're without understanding, you're worthy of death. So when you have understanding, guess what that means you have? Everlasting life. You know what I'm saying? That's why I press that so vehemently. If you have understanding, you have everlasting life. Then on top of that, if Yahuwah is causing you to be able to hear understanding, that means he wants you to be saved. If he did not want you to be saved, he would not cause you to have the opportunity to receive understanding. That's why he say, get wisdom, but in all you're getting, get understanding. He say wisdom is the first thing, but get understanding. When you get understanding, that means you can live forever. Because if you're without understanding and you're worthy of death, then you know if you have understanding, you have eternal life. Amen, sister. Seriously, that's why I press that jump. It's not that I think that I'm better than anybody, because I ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through the same things y'all going through. So I can't even, and I ain't never have and never, God forbid, ever will think that I ain't nobody, man. But I ain't with that nonsense, and I ain't gonna co-sign no foolery. I don't fuck. I just do not mess with suckers, busters, pussies, lames, goofies, false prophets, and weirdos. I don't. I won't condone it. I won't stamp it. I ain't going along with it just to go along with it, because our lives are at risk. You know what I'm saying? And to make sure that none of us get caught up in folly, I'll be disliked before I go along to get along, because I don't give a damn about none of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? My viewpoint of myself is not contingent on how many people agree with me or like me. It wasn't before the word, and it's definitely not going to be while I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to unify just because we black. That man say that we can unify and come to, let me just read it to you, because I'm finna say it wrong. Right over here in Ephesians. I ain't going to say it wrong. I'm going to tell it to you like it said on the page. Right over here in Ephesians 4, man. Verse 13. Matter of fact, verse 11. He said he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Mashiach, till we all come in the unity of the faith and the knowledge of the Son of Alahym, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Mashiach. Let me tell you something, man. Notice that he said he didn't say the unity of skin tone, the unity of nationality. He said in the unity of faith. That's what he said. And to the knowledge of the Son of Alahym, and that every person who preaching the word is supposed to be preaching it for the perfecting of the saints, and for the work of the service, and for the building up of the body of a Mashiach. The same way you're supposed to build your old lady up. If you preaching the word, you're supposed to build his old lady up. You're supposed to bring them to maturity. That's what the job is, man. Notice what he said, man, to the unity of the faith, not the unity of us as a people. We could be unified as a people and not be unified in faith. What good is that? It feels good to you. Look here, we say these same retarded statements. All the other nations unified. I don't know what you've been looking at. Because white people not unified. I done told you this several times. White people don't look at themselves as the same people. Irish people are not unified with Scottish people. Russian people are not unified with the British. They all see themselves as distinct and different people with their own desires, visions, and goals. They'll come together for the purpose of something if they feel like it furthers their aims. But then people do not, white people, Caucasian people do not look at themselves as the same. Italians have different plans, visions, and goals than Frenchmen. And Frenchmen have different ones than Greeks. And Greeks have different ones than Germans. See, you've allowed yourself to believe that they all together. White people in America ain't all together. You got white people don't want you to have no guns. You got white people who say, I don't want to give up my gun. You got white people that say a boy should be a girl and a girl should be a boy. And you got white folks that say, nigga, that's utterly insane. He said Israel was unified in Exodus 20 and separated in Exodus 32. Who you telling? He ain't told no lie. Like straight up, man. Where you see white people unified all the way through America, where you see that at? Where have you ever seen that at? You ain't never seen that. All African people ain't unified. All Asian people ain't unified. You've convinced yourself that they come together. They only come together when it serves them. But they don't fool with each other like that. If they did, they wouldn't be fighting, fussing, and arguing with each other like they do. You living in a fantasy world because you want to believe that that's plausible and possible, and that's what they're doing. These people got their wealth in control because they're vehemently unopposed to violence, treachery, deceit, and oppression. They are vehemently unopposed to that. They have no problems operating in any of that. They don't. They have no scruples, no morals, no nothing. So they don't care. It's not unity why they got what they got. They will kill and take it. They ain't got no God. What else they gonna do? But you ain't got to believe me, man. You know what I'm talking about? Search it out and see it for yourself, man. But I bless y'all out the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua, man. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. This son I don't wear it a lot, man. A little chocolate. I'll tell y'all what's in it. What this junk called? Te Amo. Rosia Dove is what this one called. I was looking for my other chocolate joint. I ain't feel like going through the boxes to find that hoe. Te Amo, that's what it's called. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all what's in this hoe. What is in this hoe? This is an amber floral fragrance. That's what this is. Mandarin orange, bergamot, little heliotropes, some lang-a-lang, some pineapple, some jasmine, some lily of the valley, some neroli, some rose, some orange blossom. So, you know, I think I said pineapple. So you got florals and citruses on the top with some cacao, some orris root, vanilla, tonka bean, ginger, sandalwood, cinnamon, labdamen, amber, saffron, little oud, little vetiver. You know what I'm saying? Old chocolate joint, man, with some vanilla touches, with some florals, man. Straight, you know. Ain't the worst thing I ever heard. Smelled. I just don't wear it a lot. Yahuwah Bruce, Sister Mika. I'm gonna get with you on what you asked about. But yeah, that's what that is. That's what it is for this evening, man. You know, we wore a little bit. It's a little dent in that hole. You know what I'm talking about? I don't think Boop like this one here too much. She don't like too much of nothing. She like all the fresh ones, man. She don't like the things that be hidden complex. You know what I'm talking about? Sure, I know about the ones that you pick. But yeah, man, hey man, but again, y'all, I bless y'all the house of Alahym in the name of Yahushua, man. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. Remember, we're gonna be observing Purim beginning on February 29th. Remember, it's $40 for families and $20 for singles. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah. You know what I'm talking about? That's what we got going on with that. So remember that we'll have service regular Wednesday, then we'll have service the 29th is on the Thursday. So it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's how we roll. You know what I'm saying? On that particular week. You dig? So, yeah, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all keep holding it down, man. You know, let your faith keep on growing, man. By the grace of Yahuwah, if you ain't received the Ruach HaKadosh prayerfully, by his mercy and goodness, you receive it sooner rather than later. And Yahuwah will it. Also, too, if any of y'all have not been immersed and you desire to be immersed, you know, let me know. Because if you slide down, all I need to know is if you desire that and you want to come down here for that, I just need to know ahead of time because we do them on the Sabbath, particularly the way that we do that so everybody can be there. You know what I'm talking about? We don't do it on camera. You know what I'm saying? If you want people to record it for you so you can take it back home, that's your business. I don't never post people immersions on Instagram, Facebook, none of that. That's not what that's for. You know what I'm saying? That's something for you. If you want to take that and post it yourself, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm just letting you know that. I'm not going to do it. Oh, no. What you say said, I'm going to need... I got you. You just got to let me know when you're ready. And hey, if you want to get baptized again, Sister Mika, I got you. Listen, this is the only requirement for being baptized, and that's that you believe that Yahushua is the son of Alahym, as the scripture have said. I can't tell you that you don't. You know what I'm talking about? If you believe that Yahushua is the son of Alahym, as the scripture have said, there's absolutely nothing, period, that will hinder you from being immersed. And if I immerse you, that does not mean that you have to be a part of this congregation or anything of the such. There ain't no book for that. You know what I'm talking about? There ain't no book for that. That's it. Ain't no book for that. Because I can tell you from personal experience, we baptized a brother. He don't fellowship with us like that. Like he down with us. He cool with us. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't like he like, oh, you got to be a member of us. Nah, we don't do that. We don't do that. Amen, Sister Mickey. Nah, we don't do that. We don't do that. And I only say that because my homeboy had told me that years ago. He was like, you know, people baptized, you got to be a member of their church. I was like, well, what that's at in the book? I ain't never seen that. I've never seen that. You know, me not never being in the church, I didn't understand that was common protocol in a lot of congregations. So when he told me that, it kind of had me confused and thrown off for a second. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. So I'm like, yeah, bro, the book don't say that. You know what I'm saying? So I where are they getting that from? You know what I'm saying? It's more so you baptizing somebody into the body of Mashiach, not to being their teacher. That's what Paul said. Some say, he said, I know you carnal. Some say, I'm of Paul, and I'm of Ephesus, and I'm of Apollos. You know what I'm saying? He said, was I crucified for you? Did I rise from the dead for you? No, that's dumb. It's dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's dumb because that means you don't know the word dumb, not dumb like you lack intelligence. You couldn't have known the word to even have that thought process. Now you carnal, you operating in a carnal space, you putting bondage on this man people that he didn't want on them. You know what I'm saying? That's why like I said, man, let me get off here, man. That's why, because if I could, we go longer, but that's just not feasible. You know what I'm talking about? Because I be wanting to make sure that y'all don't get caught up with this nonsense out here, man, and that you know your God and that your faith and hope be in him according to his word and not according to the dictates, mandates, doctrines, and words of men. You know what I'm saying? Because I promise to you, once your faith and hope is in him and you've experienced him, oh yeah, your life, and they say that your life gonna be smooth. They didn't say the thing is gonna be smooth because he never promised us that. He said we got to go through much tribulation to inherit his dominion and reign. But if you can endure through that, man, I promise you, it worth it. It worth it, man. But y'all just, you know what I'm saying? Yahuwah Baruch, y'all hold it down, man. I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna watch these. Shoot, wrestling over with. I ain't finna watch nothing. So I'm gonna catch y'all on this.